Big night though at Stamford Bridge, possibly a defining night for Graham Potter. Twice European champions Chelsea need to overturn a 1-goal deficit against winning machines Borussia Dortmund, or they'll be out before the quarter-finals. Let's get to your commentary team on Talksport. Former Chelsea captain Andy Townsend, alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian. Good evening to you. And if round of 16 ties don't necessarily come laced with jeopardy, this is a night which could shake destinies. Only Graham Potter can tell you if he believes this is the most important 90 minutes of his career today. As the man at the wheel of the Chelsea bus, as it arrives at this crossroads, it could well be. If he can mastermind victory this evening against the side who've won 10 in a row and sit joint top of the Bundesliga, he won't just provide a quarter-final tie, it will provide belief. A sense that all isn't lost, that things can yet move in the right direction. Failure tonight, and the season's an unmitigated failure. The Blues campaign over by the shouting, destined to become a listless fine-tuning of their degree of unacceptable mid-table finish. So much hinges on this. Score first, and it is back in the balance. The first leg's not a source of unguarded optimism, but the stats bear repeating. Chelsea had 7 shots on target to Dortmund's 2. Their XG was more than a goal better than the Germans, but that inability to take chances has hamstrung the Blues' season, and they can't afford this to be a night that is defined the same way. They line up with Arifa Balaga in goal, Wesley Fofana, Koulibaly and Cucurella, James, Fernandes, Kovacic and Chilwell, Sterling, Havertz and Joao Felix. Dortmund, Meyer in goal, first choice keeper Kobel still injured, Wolf, Sula, Schlotterbeck and Guerrero, Emre Can, then Brandt, Bellingham, Özcan and Royce, and Sebastian Haller leads the line. Refereed tonight Danny Macaulay from the Netherlands, and Paul van Berkel, his compatriot, is the VAR. And it's a wonderful atmosphere here, Andy. The 10-minute delay has actually seen it build a little bit. Yellow smoke away to our left-hand side. It's just billowing away at the away end. It's extraordinary.
It is. It's a belting atmosphere. It's absolutely the sort of atmosphere you want to feel in a big Champions League night, particularly a night when you're behind from the get-go. So hopefully the Chelsea boys are soaking this up. It's a fabulous noise that we've got in Stamford Bridge right now. The build-up to this game has been huge, significant. People in and around West London, tons of German fans here as well, and they're not slow in making themselves heard. Let me tell you, the Dortmund fans, they're really going for it as well tonight. So we have everything in place for what should be a cracking night of top-class Champions League football. Well, a couple of sparklers thrown onto the pitch. They have been put out. The Dortmund players in their yellow shirts and black shorts ran away to the left-hand side at the shed end of the ground to applaud their travelling supporters. And it is just a sea of yellow smoke. Those on the top tier who've travelled aren't seeing anything of the first 5 or 6 minutes, because that smoke is acrid and thick. Chelsea blue shirts and shorts and white socks, and they'll kick from right to left in this first half, defending the Matthew Harding end of the ground. And the referee's just come across and had a word with the television officials, and we're about to get underway. Well, like seldom in the recent past, this is a Stamford Bridge over troubled water, where times are rough and friends just can't be found. Down and out? Not yet. Their time has come to shine, to prove all their dreams are on their way. And they've got 90 minutes to do it on a night where it's qualification or ramifications. Chelsea get the ball clear from the kickoff, and a play for a Dortmund throw, which will be taken on the right touchline. And it'll be Wolf, the blonde-haired, right back with it. Julian Brandt tried to supply the movements thrown into the feet of Jude Bellingham, and back out of play for another Dortmund throw. First goal's always important, but tonight more than ever, Andy Townsend. Massive, absolutely huge in this tie. Again, you've mentioned the word jeopardy, as we just see Kovacic there just intercepting but turning that away for a corner. Jim, we'll come back to this. Let's set up for this corner, because it's key moments like this that could be crucial tonight.
And it's a corner which will be taken on the Dortmund right by Julian Brandt. He's got Guerrero offering himself for the short one. If it's not short, he'd have the opportunity to swing it in left-footed, an in-swinger. Kepa Arrizabalaga is in a very crowded 6-yard box. It's fired in. Shot comes in from Schlotterbeck, which is deflected. Chelsea are able to get it away. Guerrero hooking it back over the top. Cucurella takes a step back to head that one clear. Falls for Bellingham on the edge of the penalty area, and he's robbed by Koulibaly. Here's the counter-attack. Sterling's going to be offside. The ball will continue. It's playing forward though. Sterling with an opportunity on the edge of the area, and then it goes through to Sula, and the goalkeeper can make the save, and the flag did come up. He was a good half a yard offside.
But again, once Raheem Sterling has actually sprinted in behind, do something positive with the ball. He dithered, he delayed, he waited, he wasn't sure, and in the end the yellow shirts got back to pinch it off him anyway. Yes, the flag went up, but that is very much a result of Chelsea countering really swiftly and very quickly from the edge of their own box.
And we touched on it in the build-up, Andy, but that could be the key area for them. If they're going to have joy tonight, you can imagine that the goals would come that way, and that's what makes it difficult really for Edin Terzic and Borussia Dortmund, how to approach this. They don't want to play into Chelsea hands. They score first. They'll feel that they've got this one with the Chelsea scoring record of the last 3-4 months, which has been so well documented. But if they push forward searching for that goal with a little bit too much endeavour, they're going to play into Chelsea's strong suit.
And that their defensive line there, Jim, was about 10 yards short of the halfway line when Kai Havertz released Raheem Sterling, who was just fractionally offside.
Those are thoughts of former Chelsea captain Andy Townsend. The free kick is given for handball, and that yellow smoke continues to wisp all the way across the ground. It's like watching football in a sandstorm at the moment.
It is indeed.
Brandt is down injured and might need a little bit of treatment. And in fact, referee Macaulay is calling the Dortmund medical team on. I don't know whether it's an early strain that Julian Brandt has picked up.
He's got that sort of resigned look, hasn't he, Julian Brandt? He's sat down, he's got his hands on his knees, and he doesn't look like he's in the best of shape to continue. We'll see exactly what goes on. Chelsea are preparing for a free kick. It's wide on the right-hand side, about level, a couple of yards outside the 18-yard box, but right on the touchline. So it's an opportunity to flash something in towards the penalty spot, but Julian Brandt at the moment is down on the floor. I've got a feeling he's looking at him, Jimmy, rubbing the back of his leg, his hamstring. If that's the case, I would think that's pretty much, he's won his race already.
Well, they're already without Adeyemi, who played on the left wing in the first leg and scored the winning goal. And Brandt can't continue there without another one of their wingers as well. A couple of goals in League One to tell you about. An equaliser for Shrewsbury at Peterborough, scored by Tom Flanagan, and a second for Barnsley at home to Portsmouth with Nicky Cadden on target there. A little bit of action on the Dortmund bench. Brandt is really struggling to come off, almost to the extent he can't leave the field under his own steam. It's as bad as that, and they are going to have to make a change. Yeah,
he's done his hamstring, he's pulled his hamstring. You can just tell by the way he's walking off. So that change is imminent, and that's not good news for Borussia Dortmund so early in the game.
And it's Gio Reyna who's going to come on for him. Reyna, the son of Claudio Reyna, the United States international. Gio played at the World Cup, but not nearly as much as many United States fans thought he should have done. Hasn't featured for Dortmund for the last 4 games, but he's on here. Free kick then to Chelsea. Right footage, swung inside the penalty area by James Koulibaly coming around the back, but couldn't really get a decent contact on it. It's come off the side of his head, really. VAR deflection. Had a play for a Chelsea throw. The home crowd are infused by what they've seen in the opening 5 minutes here at 0-0 on Talksport. Chilwell takes the throw. Kovacic did him few favours with a slightly underhit return pass. Dortmund clear down this near touchline there, right. Cucurella is there to mop up, and Koulibaly will find Kepa.
You know, you can never be sure. Graham Potter, listen, he can only instruct and work at things all week. He can't be in total control of what's happening out there from start to finish. What he can do is make sure that those defenders are absolutely fully aware it is not a night for risk, for chances, for making sloppy, silly mistakes.
And now a turnover of possession. Reyna caught flat-footed, one back by Sterling. Joao Felix going round the outside, getting to the byline, but out came goalkeeper Meyer to thwart him, and it's out of play for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, good play that from Chelsea. And he was Emre Can initially, who tried to burst through the middle of the park, didn't know where he was going. And the blue shirts converged around him, pinched it off him, released João Felix on the edge of the box. He drew Schüller, went past him, and very nearly just clipped that over the top of Meyer.
Plymouth 0, Derby 1 in the big game in League One tonight. Chilwell to take this corner. Both arms above his head in front of the Dortmund supporters. A left-footed away swinger, and it's headed wide by Koulibaly.
Chance. That's a good chance. It's a lovely flighted corner from Ben Chilwell off the left side. It's an outswinger towards that penalty spot. Koulibaly meets it, but just doesn't quite get the forehead on it to get it on target.
Let's get news of that goal at Home Park, John Roeder.
Controversial goal for Derby. It was hooked forward by David McGoldrick. It looked like Nathaniel Mendes-Lang was offside, but he ran through, went round the goalkeeper and scored. Plymouth fans up in arms. Plymouth 0, Derby 1.
Cheers, John. Plymouth second in the table at start of play. Derby 5th. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so a goal in the early stages of that game. Ball out of play here, where it's been electrifying in terms of atmosphere and a very fast start on the field, Andy.
It certainly has. It's been a fast start. Dortmund showed once or twice in those opening couple of minutes that they're confident and composed enough to keep the ball under pressure. And then they've had that disruption of Julian Brandt going off. Gio Reyna has come on. He's on that right side of those front three. And we'll see how involved he gets.
Sterling's done well. Drop short, little cushion hand. João Felix over the top for Havertz. And it's gone into the side netting. And a few on this side of the ground thought it was in. They saw the net billowing. Havertz went down.
Yeah, that's
with a suspicion of a push, maybe.
That's what I think everybody immediately went after, Jim. Brilliant football again from Chelsea. Lovely little third-man run from Kai Havertz. He drops it off and then he spins and goes. He gets that return ball that's clipped over the top of that Dortmund back four. He gets to the edge of the 18-yard box, one stride into the box, and gets a shove in his back as he's about to hit that. Skies the shot, but I tell you what, that wasn't the cleanest challenge, was it? The most convincing challenge either, but he got away with it. I think it was Schlotterbeck.
Oh, João Felix has stumbled on this near touchline in trying to keep the ball in, and as he opened up his knee ligaments in the process, it seemed quite innocuous. He was stretching to try and stop it going out of play for a throw, and then immediately went down with his black gloved right hand holding his knee. He's back on his feet, hobbling away, no need for treatment, and a big sigh of relief from the Chelsea fans around us.
Do you know, Jim, I just wonder, going back, he's okay, he's back and he's moving, hopefully he'll be all right. With that Kai Havertz shot, had he not have taken the shot, had he have just crumpled to the floor, he might well have got a pen there.
Kovacic plays it for João Felix here, and Emre Can is back to mop up, but he took a touch, a heavy one down towards the corner flag, and it soon went past him and out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Chelsea left. And there is a really good energy about Chelsea in the opening 9 minutes here. It is 0-0 still on Talksport. So 1-0 to Dortmund on aggregate after Adeyemi's first leg winner. João Felix popping it off to the left for Ben Chilwell. Chilwell firing it in, couldn't find Sterling. Knocked away by Özcan. Brought back down by Kovacic trying to work it through, and then Bellingham draws a free kick from Cucurella. And Dortmund will be glad of the opportunity to gather breath after a hectic opening 10 minutes.
It's been great. It's been absolutely the sort of start that Graham Potter would have wanted from his team. I said beforehand about intensity and having a real belief that they can make something happen, make the difference early on, set the tone, get everybody in Stamford Bridge rocking with you. It's important that. Don't underestimate what that does. When the supporters see their team pouring forward, challenging, competing for every little loose ball early on in a match, it just gets them up rather than teams that sit and wait and are waiting for something to happen. This Chelsea team are going after Dortmund much better.
And Fofana's done well here. A little flick round the corner for Kai Havertz. It's gone over the line and out of play for a goal kick. Dortmund fans away to our left, bobbing up and down. Choreographed support from the travelling Germans tonight. You're listening to the Champions League. It's live on Talksport with Till, the card payment provider from NatWest. Grimsby leading Newport 1-0 in League 2. An equaliser for Solihull at home to Torquay in the National League. And all square here on the night, 1-0 to Dortmund on aggregate. An opportunity for Niklas Süle, former Bayern Munich man, to bring it forward. He's found Jude Bellingham. Bellingham just calming things down in the midfield for Borussia Dortmund, slipping it to his left-hand side for Reina, but possession turned over quickly and then given away immediately as Kovacic looked for his man and got the ball wrong. And now Wolf, the right back for Emre Can, who's playing as the one in a 4-1-4-1 formation with Allaire up top, and it's good to see him back as well, the former West Ham man, after the bad illness problems that he had over the first half of this season. Great to see him back in action and recovered. Here's Can inside the centre circle. He's just gone the wrong way for a moment. He drops deep between the two centre halves and finds Süle. Slip down towards Wolf. Wolf's under pressure from Chilwell. Lays it back for Emre Can again. Can, the former Liverpool player who has scored against Chelsea in the past. He played in the Champions League final in his Liverpool days as well. He's laid it back for his goalkeeper Alex Meyer, and he will clear towards halfway. With 12 minutes in, still 0-0, with Chelsea having a couple of isolated sights of goal in the early stages, but they've been the brighter of the two teams through the opening 12 minutes, Andy.
Yeah, and since that real flurry from Chelsea for 5 minutes or so, just since then, Dortmund are calming it down a little bit. They've had their best spell of considered possession since really the kickoff right now, where they've just sort of kept Chelsea at arm's length in their own territory. But they do look vulnerable on the halfway line, Dortmund. There's no doubt about that. When Chelsea do turn it over, Sterling and Havertz are immediately spinning into those gullies. It's just about, it hasn't got to be precise, it hasn't got to be perfect. Spin that ball into those gullies and let those two guys get in after it. They look like they've got the pace very much on Süle and Schlotterbeck.
And away from home, their record isn't magnificent. They've lost almost as many games as they've won on the road in the Bundesliga this season, as a free kick is taken and fired inside the Chelsea box, but easily cleared. 7 wins, 5 defeats on the road in the Bundesliga, but significantly they've played 2 of the top 4 away from home in the Bundesliga. They've lost them both, and they've also lost at Manchester City. Wolf fires across inside that box again. Reece James there to head away, and it goes out of play for a throw that Reina will take on the Dortmund left.
And doing everything right there, Reece James. Again, that's that one where it's a loopy cross. He knows he's always going to get there. He's not under any pressure. Just deal with it. Just head it away as he does. It's a throw-in on the far side.
So he's taken into the feet of Reina by Guerrero. Back for Jude Bellingham. Bellingham turning. The Midlander laying it back for Süle. And Süle, with his round shoulder bustling style, almost able to slip it through for a run down the inside left from Marco Reus. Dortmund again winning it back. This has been a better couple of minutes for them. Reus finding Reina. And then Reina back for Schlotterbeck. Emre Can just trying to draw Kai Havertz towards the ball. Goes back in the end for Süle. And Chelsea just dropping off and keeping a shape for a moment in this 3-4-3 that they're in tonight. Ball goes behind Reina. Reus can play it forward. Bellingham loses out. Wesley Fofana was there right on his toes. James had made a good run into the midfield, but Enzo Fernandez couldn't squeeze it through to him. And Dortmund win it back around the edge of the box. Reus laid back for Wolf. And a free kick given by the Dutch referee for a foul on Reina, about 10 or 12 yards outside the box, slightly left of centre. Yeah, it's in a good position, this as well. For Dortmund, it's that perfect sort of distance. I would say 25 yards out and just slightly to one side. So Kepa's got to get that wall absolutely right, get it sorted out, get those big guys in there, because this is definitely shooting distance. Well, Reus is standing over it. He's actually tied on 159 for the most goals ever for Borussia Dortmund. I guess as a player, you want to break the milestone first and foremost, but if you can break it with an important goal, a significant one that is remembered in your club's history, so much the better. And this will come under that category if Reus could beat Michael Zorc's record from here. As I say, left of centre, But the free kick is actually closer to the edge of the penalty area than where the foul took place. It's probably a couple of yards further forward. Dortmund have lined up a little 3-man mini wall in front of Chelsea's 5. I think it's Chilwell that's standing in that. No, Joao Felix standing in that and trying to make life difficult for the Dortmund contingent. It is Royce. Oh, it's a good save.
Wow.
What a good free kick. And he sent that little knuckleball over the wall and just creeping inside the post. And Kepa can't have had a great sight of it, but he's dived to his right-hand side and got a strong hand to tip it away.
Brilliant save from Kepa. Huge save that, because it's beautifully struck from Royce.
He's got it again, but he can't find a way past Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez in clearing it, has given the ball away, and Guerrero has won a corner. But what a good save that was.
Fantastic save. Can you hear the disgruntled Chelsea fans there? Enzo Fernandez felt he was shoved and pushed and bundled into the barriers over the far side. The referee giving him nothing. Chelsea scramble the ball away. Another Borussia Dortmund corner, this time off their left.
So they've got 4 around the edge of the penalty area, 3 more slightly outside the box. Only Wolf inside the 6-yard box as it comes in this time. Aimed in towards Özcan. And Chelsea can whack it away. It was a good clearance there from Chilwell. Joao Felix chases after it, but the goalkeeper Meyer was first to it and clears it upfield. And Dortmund have been on top the last 5 minutes. Royce has got it. He can't find a way through. Enzo Fernandez in there to effect the block and put it out of play for another Borussia Dortmund throw. 0-0, 18 gone, and still 1-0 to the Germans on aggregate.
Yeah, Chelsea have had their moments in the opening 18 minutes of this game for sure, but Dortmund are playing the more constructive, playing the better football, keeping possession but with a threat. It's not just rolling it around across the halfway line, it's actually on the edge of the 18-yard box where they're just one little pass away from maybe creating a proper opportunity for one of their strikers.
Still have this perfect record in 2023, 10 wins out of 10. And they've scored 3 times as many goals as they've conceded in that time. Chelsea able to hammer the ball away with Kovacic. And we got a goal in the Championship at the Hawthorns, Jeff Peters.
It's West Brom 1, Wigan 0, scored by Daryl Dike. Shot was pushed onto the bar by the goalkeeper Amos, and then it came down to Dike, who nodded in from close range. 6th league goal of the season. West Brom 1, Wigan 0.
The National League, an equaliser for Dorking at home to Barnet, and Sutton League Crawley in League 2 by a goal to 0. Crawley 3 points from safety, although they got 3 games in hand. Trailing again tonight, and the first of those at Gander Green Lane, 1-0 to Sutton. 0-0 between Chelsea and Dortmund. And you would Talksport with Jim Pravitt and Andy Townsend talking you through the action on a cold, crisp night here. It's an unseasonably cold March evening in West London as the ball is played for by Koulibaly. And then Kovacic, and taken on by Havertz for Sterling, who's onside, and he's tried to release Reece James, but he got the angle of the pass wrong, and Sula can come across and get it away for Dortmund. But poor defending will allow Chelsea another opportunity to make something happen around the edge of the box, and then when it's flicked in by Enzo Fernandez, it just trickles innocuously through to the goalkeeper.
Chance, for Raheem Sterling to release Reece James down that right side. Really good football from Chelsea. Some excellent one-touch passing. It goes into Sterling again. He's just not quite on it at the moment. Just took too long, delayed that pass, and eventually the one that he did in fact select wasn't good enough to find the target.
Chelsea have actually got a decent European record here at Stamford Bridge. They've won 8 of the last 10 European games here. Kept 7 clean sheets as well. Just lost one of those, which was against Real Madrid. And when they've been in this scenario, where they've been behind from the first leg away from home, they've actually been able to turn it round on 8 out of 14 occasions, which is a very tidy return. Although they lost the most recent of those, which are a few years ago now, against PSG, back in the 15-16 season. But even if it isn't this set of players, as a club, they have got the history of being able to come back. And Koulibaly's done well to flick it round the corner here for Joao Felix. Emre Can, with a hand on his back, has just put a little bit of contact on, and Joao Felix felt it, made sure the referee saw it, went to ground, wins the free kick to Chelsea. which is nearer the halfway line than the edge of the penalty area, and Kovacic has taken it quickly. Joao Felix trying to work it to his right-hand side and just knocked it straight into Allaire. And Dortmund, as a result, have it back, but then Chilwell is in there to win it back and has fouled Bellingham in the process. And it's a Dortmund free kick.
Haven't got long, have you, in the middle of the park tonight? You really haven't. You've got a fraction of a second, honestly, when that ball arrives, to get it under control, get it out your feet, move it on. Otherwise, someone's going to nip it off you. There's a lot of traffic in there, and every time the ball is knocked into you, you've got to know exactly where you're going with it pretty quickly.
Solihull 2, Torquay 1 in the National League, which is a blow, all things considered. Midway through the first half here at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 0, Dortmund 0, and it's 1-0 on aggregate to Dortmund. Still 0-0 in the other Champions League tie tonight. Benfica, who've only lost one of the last 41 games, and they're 0-0 at home to Bruges. Scott Parker's men 2-0 down on aggregate. And you'd imagine Benfica will go through there. Meyer almost turned into trouble. And then just a lack of intensity in the press from Kai Havertz, who had his man. He'd really forced the error and kind of didn't go through with it.
Yeah.
And Dortmund bring it away.
Once a player, whoever it is, goes and presses someone, you've got to back that up. If it's not right for him to press, you've got to scream at him, don't go, don't do it, we're not ready, we're not set behind you. But if you see a teammate go and worry someone and press them, get in behind and support.
Now Cucurella is frustrated as the whistle blows. It wasn't against him, it was against Enzo Fernandez. And Kovacic, the Chelsea captain, will just go and have a word with the referee about the legitimacy of the decision. Ask for its justification. It's going to be a free kick that Emre Can will take almost on the centre spot. It could have been a lot worse as far as the start that Chelsea have made. It's been a start that will have given them a little bit of confidence, although they haven't come close to finding a way through as yet. Guerrero made a really good run forward from left back there all the way through and found himself the most advanced of the outfield players from a straight free kick, but Chelsea end up getting a free kick of their own. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sebastian Haller, he came towards the ball, that free kick from the halfway line. Guerrero from that left back stroke left wing back position made a really good run. He could have done a little bit better with that. Two of the bottom four in League One in action tonight, and Cole Stockton's equalised for Morecambe at Cambridge. 1-1. It's Joao Felix, and he's played it back intelligently for Wesley Fofana, who scored the winner against Leeds here at the weekend. His first goal in the Premier League. Enzo Fernandez now back for Fofana again. Turned forward towards Kovacic. Kovacic ran into trouble and Bellingham has picked his pocket. Kovacic flicked it away from Bellingham, but still Dortmund able to bring it forward with Özcan, and then Allaire lays it off, and Özcan's made a really good run towards the edge of the penalty area. Reina might be able to get it. Across the edge of the 6-yard box, and nobody in yellow to tap it in. That is a let-off for Chelsea. Reina did brilliantly. None of his teammates gambled on him doing so. Yeah. Terrific football that from Dortmund. It all started with Mateo Kovacic just losing possession. 15 yards short of the halfway line in his own half. And they switched the ball out to the right side. It was a brilliant first-time pass from Wolf, who actually put Gio Reyna in. Kovacic couldn't touch him. He's in the box. He squares it across the 6-yard line and nobody there. It would have been a tap-in had somebody have broke their neck to get on the end of it. They didn't. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Wrexham 2, Jordan Tunnicliffe for the National League leaders, who will be 4 points clear if they win tonight. This game in hand that they're playing this evening. So 4 clear of Notts County, who lost to Dagenham recently. But Wrexham 2 up there at the moment. Coming up to half-time in our feature games, and we'll get half-time details from Portman Road in a moment. But Dortmund are in possession again. A slight lack of control from Marco Reus, who flicked it with his right foot into his left knee. And Emre Can dropping increasingly deeper now, Andy, and almost playing as a centre-half. Correct. In possession, that back four that they've started with in possession. Can comes in between Schlotterbeck and Schuler to allow Guerrero and Wolf to go forward as wing-backs. And that just gives them a little bit of a superiority numbers-wise in the middle of the park, which Chelsea are sometimes finding difficult to deal with. Chan's down injured. The ball will be put out of play. Özcan almost trampling on his teammate in dealing with it. He's put it out of play. so that Chan can receive whatever treatment is necessary, and we'll get half-time details from Portman Road in League One. Ian Abrahams.
Ipswich 1, Accrington Stanley 0. Nathan Broadhead's goal coming on 12 minutes. Lovely finish first time, centre of the 6-yard box. Could have had a second right on half-time. Connor Chaplin had the ball in the net, disallowed offside. Ipswich 1, Accrington 0.
In the National League, Bromley down to 10 men and a goal down at half-time to a penalty scored by Linnell John Lewis. So 1-0 to York at Bromley, which would be a big win for them. Another one of the teams in relegation trouble. Half-time as well in the Championship at Huddersfield. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0. Town not had a shot on target, but did have a big appeal for a penalty waved away in the final seconds. Bristol City have dominated, and Bell, Sykes and Pring all should have scored. Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0.
Cheers, Mark. Huddersfield 7 points off safety on the back of 2 4-0 defeats in a row, but goalless at the moment against Nigel Pearson's Bristol City. The ball cleared by Sula. Emre Can's okay. He's back on his feet and able to continue. And he watches as Bellingham volleys it forward now. Koulibaly bringing it down. And the real intensity that we saw in the opening 8-10 minutes has just dropped off a little bit. I think both sides know that they're, without the instant breakthrough, in it for the long haul now.
Correct. No, that's often the case, isn't it? That you have this real burst, this real injection of energy early on in a match of significance and importance, and then it's just dropped off a fraction. Chelsea got to try and maintain that tempo in their game. It's important they do.
Havertz. He's just pulled the ball back for Reece James, and Havertz gets it again. Kai Havertz, who's never scored against Dortmund. James firing it inside the area, almost found Sterling. Havertz! Oh! How has he not scored that? Wasn't for want of trying. He struck it beautifully, left-footed. It hit the inside of the right-hand post, went almost all the way along the line, and then spun wide of the far post and to safety. And is that symptomatic of the luck that Chelsea are having at the moment? Yeah. Havertz inches away.
Desperately unlucky. It's not the cleanest Kai Havertz strike you've ever seen, but he would have felt he scored there, because the goalkeeper's getting nowhere near it, and as you say, Jim, it rattles the post and goes right along the line. You're thinking on the first bounce it might even spin behind the line. It doesn't. It goes round the post and out for a goal kick. Big slice of fortune there favouring Dortmund. That all started with a brilliant first time cross from Reece James. What I love about him, you know, I don't care what they've been working on all week. When he gets wide and he gets into an area, he just smashes it across that box and just puts it into an area. And that's exactly what Chelsea need. They're very unlucky there.
Now Guerrero working it forward. Chelsea having to defend, and Wesley Fofana able to defend. And the ball rolls over the line and out of play for a goal kick, which Kepa Arrizabalaga will take. Reece James, I like seeing him play most when he is as a right wing back, not a right back in a 4, but as a right wing back. We haven't seen that too much under Graham Potter, because when he's been fit, they've tended to play him in a 4. Yeah. But he's playing at right wing back tonight, and it's just delightful when he gets the ball at his feet or can fire in those early crosses as we saw then.
100%. You know, he's as effective in that position as anybody. He really is. He's had his injury problems and they've missed him massively. You know, the team never looked the same when he first went out those few months ago, but now he's back, and when he gets into that area, he's just got that feel, that knack, that whatever it is, to deliver that ball into a dangerous spot. He just seems to do it with such regularity.
Kukureya and Koulibaly got the lines of communication right to clear. Ball went over halfway and Havertz has fouled his man. It's a free kick which will be taken on halfway by Borussia Dortmund. Half an hour in and it's 0-0. It's hugely entertaining. You just wonder whether the most significant moment still lies ahead of us, or whether it will just drift through at 0-0 and Chelsea will go out, but inches away with that Kai Havertz shot, which hit the post and could easily have hit the other post and still gone in, and just wasn't destined to be for him. Tomorrow morning on Talksport Breakfast, join Laura Woods, Ali McCoist and Gabby Agbonlahor. That's Pundit of the Year, Ali McCoist. Great to hear West Ham legend Tony Gale on the show this morning, former England goalkeeper David James as well. Tomorrow the guests include Harry Redknapp, Eni Aluko and a certain Mr Andrew Townsend. They'll all be there between 6 and 10 tomorrow morning. If you fancy something different on your morning commute, music's more you think, check out the Chris Evans Breakfast Show weekdays from 6:30 a.m. on Virgin Radio. Dortmund sweeping a free kick inside the box. Harifa Balaga came out, so he's in two minds whether to catch or punch. In the end, he sort of paddled it clear, but in doing so, found Joao Felix. His ball forward, and Sterling maybe sensed he was offside, didn't attack with a great degree of conviction. Dortmund clear, it goes back for Kepa, and they're bringing it out very quickly again. But it's noticeable when the ball goes into Kovacic. Özcan is very quickly there, putting the pressure on him, and the same happens again for Enzo Fernandez. Clearly Dortmund have identified those two as maybe players that are susceptible to the press, and when the ball is at their feet, particularly when they're facing the wrong way. Another free kick given there to Dortmund, and Danny Macaulay has blown up for everything tonight. In fact, he's given it Chelsea's way. The Chelsea players complaining, and then the free kick's gone their way, but Enzo's not going to be able to take it from where he wants to. He's going to have to come back a few yards, which he does now. Finds Kovacic, and Chelsea will build from a deeper position again, Andy.
Yeah, Joao Felix has been prominent as well, as he has pretty much every time I've watched him play.
A lovely switch of play for Ben Chilwell. Miscue from Sula. Ricochets high up inside the penalty area. Right-footed acrobatic attempt from Kovacic. That would have been some goal, and he berates himself for not hitting the target, but it was such a high tariff attempt, falling behind him and trying to swivel the hips and volley it towards goal, but couldn't keep it down.
He does have a bit of previous Jim with some of them volleys, doesn't he? As you mentioned, the high tariff one was at Liverpool here. He scored an unbelievable volley there. Well, that's a different one. That's kind of a bit like the Zidane one from the Champions League final all those years ago. That was what he just tried there. Hit it nice enough, but it was always rising and comfortably over the bar. But Chelsea very much in the game, but it's evenly contested, this. Dortmund, again, do look capable when they stitch a few passes together. They've had one or two of their own situations, but I do like the way Chelsea, when they turn the ball over, are releasing those front guys quite quickly. I do think there's space for them to exploit on that turnover.
Half-time scores coming in from the 7:45 kickoff, so we'll run through them all for you in a moment. It's a free kick which will be taken, though, by Dortmund. Just running the clock down on occasion, and I want my side to do exactly that. Özcan belatedly taking this free kick, the crowd giving him the hurry up, even if the referee didn't. He breaks through the midfield, Bellingham beaten to it. The bounce of the ball favours Joao Felix, who could just head it on. Havertz can turn. He finds James, and James hits it too briskly for Raheem Sterling, and it goes out of play. This is how it's looking then in the Championship half-time. Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0, as we heard. In League One, half-times, Barnsley 2, Portsmouth 0. Cambridge 1, Morecambe 1, Cheltenham 0, Lincoln 0, Ipswich 1, Accrington 0, Peterborough Shrewsbury's 1 apiece, and Wycombe lead Fleetwood by a goal to 0. League 2 in a moment as Dortmund bring it forward, but Cucurella mops up, and then Enzo Fernandez turns it in towards Havertz on the half turn. Joao Felix similarly receiving the ball on the half turn, back for Cucurella. He can play the way that he's facing, getting Raheem Sterling going. Sterling's going to get there ahead of Emre Can, who's having a tough night. And Sterling's won a throw off him, which Cucurella is in a hurry to take. About 10 yards from the corner flag. There were no brilliant options for him, so he's just waited a moment. Now he plays it into the feet of Joao Felix. Back from him to Kovacic, just outside the penalty area. There's space on the Chelsea right for Reece James, but it's worked back for Fofana, and now towards Koulibaly, and Chelsea go into a central position, then back down the left again. And now Cucurella goes backwards. Yeah, they've kept the ball, Chelsea. But of course, in doing so, all the yellow shirts now funneling back, and they're set in a back five with three midfield players and then one in behind Sebastian Haller. So not so easy to find ways through. And Joao Felix trying, and he's won a corner with a shot that deflected off Can. Almost broke Sterling's way, but it is a Chelsea corner on the left, 0-0. Every corner, every wide free kick, throw-in even, that Chelsea are winning high up the field is being greeted by rapturous applause from the home fans who are just urging the team on.
Ben Chilwell down here in front of us, taking this corner off Chelsea's left side, right in front of the Dortmund fans, and having to deal with all sorts that's coming on the pitch, in and around him. He's just keeping his composure, keeping his focus. The referee has just come across and thrown a few plastic bottles off as Chilwell now winds up, getting ready to whip this one in.
Yeah, the referee removed one. Another then came down while he was doing that, not too far away from Chilwell, who's unfazed. In it comes towards the penalty spots, headed away, almost broke for Kovacic, and Reina in the nick of time for Dortmund flicked it away from him. James mops up the loose ball and goes back for Kepa Arrizabalaga. Cucurella now down to Ben Chilwell on the Chelsea left. His long ball forward. Koulibaly still forward from the previous attack. Heads it on down towards Havertz. Havertz knew he was offside. Couldn't get out of the way. Eventually he played it, and the free kick has gone Dortmund's way. Half-time down in Devon at Home Park in League One. Here's Talksport's John Roeder.
Well, Derby leading by 1-0. The goal after 17 minutes. Nathaniel Mendez-Laing put through by David McGoldrick. TV replay showed that he was onside just. It was a controversial goal. Plymouth have had plenty of possession but haven't done too much with it. Plymouth 0, Derby 1.
Benfica 2, Bruges 0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate. And the other Champions League game taking place tonight, Rafa with the first and Gonzalo Ramos with his 22nd of the season. And Benfica through easily. Dortmund pushing for Cucurella. Very grateful to see that come back off his Achilles to safety. And then Fofana did well. James, I beg your pardon, did well. Scampering back, tracking the run of Guerrero, and able to mop up and stopping him getting himself into a shooting position.
Such a game of fine margins, this one. It really is. Inches away there, Dortmund, from getting in. Sterling's going to be offside once more.
Joao Felix has played him in. Sterling is through. He's going to see his effort saved. Still the flag not up. Havertz has got it. He's fouled it in. It's not going to count. The flag is up. The flag is up correctly. I mean, it wasn't even close. He was a good 2 yards offside.
Why do they not put the flag up? It's nonsense, this. Honestly. I see it every weekend. I see a player 2 or 3 yards offside. The whole world knows he's offside, and the guy who's got the flag knows he's offside, but not allowed to put it up. Not got to wait. Wait for what? Wait for the ball to end up in the back of the net 20 seconds later to put his flag up. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, wait for him to be 10 yards offside.
Yeah.
I mean, you're absolutely right. What are you waiting for? Half-time at the Hawthorns in the Championship. Jeff Peters.
West Brom lead Wigan 1-0. Daryl DK giving the Baggies a 27th minute lead. Simple close-range header after Malumbi's shot was parried onto the bar by Ben Amos. Amos then kept out a brilliant volley from DK, and O'Shea headed over when it looked easier to score. 2 shots for Wigan, neither on target. West Brom 1, Wigan 0.
Cucurella plays it down the line. Looked as though Chilwell was given a shove there by Sula. Now the referee has given a throw to Dortmund rather than a free kick to Chelsea. In League 2, just starting the second halves. 0-0 Doncaster Harrogate. Grimsby lead Newport 1-0. Stockport 0, Gillingham 0 still half time. Sutton 1, Crawley 0, and Walsall against Bradford 0-0. And the big game in the National League, Wrexham 2 up at half time away at Dagenham and Redbridge, and they'll be 4 points clear if they hold on. Chilwell down again. This time he has got the free kick. And we talked earlier, Dortmund's Achilles heel, such as they are for a side that won 10 in a row, counter-attacks, set pieces, so they've got to get the delivery right.
Absolutely right. Ben Chilwell though hits the floor, gets the free kick. It's not cheating. If you're shoved, if you push, go down, hit the floor, draw the foul, give yourself a chance, which they've now got. Chelsea wide free kick on his left foot to whip it in.
And Chilwell firing it in. Oh, the goalkeeper didn't know whether to come on. Oh, Joao Felix for the effort. He's hit the goalkeeper. Hasn't made a save. He was trying to get back and the ball was just driven straight at him. Got himself completely stranded there, Maya, and got lucky. Chelsea again with Joao Felix outside the box. Right-footed volley away from Sula. And this is becoming an increasingly familiar story for Chelsea. Half-decent chances not being taken. And you wonder, at what cost?
Yeah, I just wonder why Joao Felix there's tried to go for a side foot when he's got maybe 5 or 6 people, including a goalkeeper, in and around the line in front of him. He's trying to sort of side foot it, and it looks a little bit of an unconvincing finish to me. I think they're in a crowd scene when the ball bobbling is on the half volley. Get your foot over it, hit it, with your laces and really go for it. Had he had done that, it might take a deflection, it can still go in, but it never had enough pace on it, did it, to force its way home. So chance missed again there. Brilliant ball in from Ben Chilwell. Perfect delivery.
Now yellow card for Sula for time wasting. He was given the warning by the referee, just ignored it, and so Sula is booked. He's not one of the players who's a yellow card away from a suspension. Incidentally, for Chelsea, that's James and Koulibaly of the starters. For Dortmund, it's Chan and Özcan. Sutton 2 crawling in at the start of the second half in League 2. And here it remains 0-0. I mean, a lot has been made of Chelsea's goals or the lack of them. 7 in the last 16 games. They've failed to score in 10 of those 16 matches, and clearly if they fail to score tonight, they're out. But although they've only scored 7, their XG over that time is 20. So 20 goals in 16, still not spectacular, but equally not disastrous.
No.
And it's just a question of being able to take the chances. Not that the chances aren't being created, and we've seen that again tonight. Here's Joao Felix, 4 for Havertz. Here's Chilwell, and he's put it wide.
Target, Ben. It's a good chance that, you know, look, he's got a fair bit to do to score, but hit that target, head down with his left foot. There's a little lovely succession of passes about 10 yards outside Dortmund's 18-yard box. Eventually it finds Ben Chilwell on the overlap, on the angle, yes, but in the box, on his left foot, and just the goalkeeper in front of him between the posts, and he shanks it high and wide. Again, hit that target, head down, go for it. That's a routine strike for someone with his quality. He should be hitting the target absolutely there, making Maya make a save.
And it's so easy from up here, but that one goes across the goal, and the goalkeeper saves it, and there were 2 or 3 coming in central positions for Chelsea. You just never know what might happen. Here's Kovacic playing it forward. Havertz possibly got a little bit lucky. I'm not sure that he intended to beat Emre Can in the way that he did, but he did beat him. Now he's got Wolf physically holding him up. Great back heel. Kovacic brings it forward. Kovacic right in the challenge of Özcan, who tries to knock Chilwell to the ground and missed him, and he's played it in, and Sterling has an air shot, then takes it on and scores! And Chelsea have the goal! Such a scruffy goal! So many ricochets on the way through, bits of luck, bobbles, this, that and the other. An air shot from Sterling, completely missed with his first attempt, but it came back to him, and he didn't make the same mistake twice. And Chelsea, with 90 seconds to go to half-time, have scored with Raheem Sterling. It's 1-0 on the night, it's 1-1 on aggregate, there's all to play for, and the season has just been switched on again.
Wow, what a moment. Brilliant work from Chelsea. Persistent pressing and harrying of those Dortmund players deep in their own territory. And when they get it wide, Ben Chilwell whacks it across towards that penalty spot. Raheem Sterling totally misses, almost like an air shot, his first chance, and that's kind of been a bit typical of him up to now. Luckily for him, it comes back to him, and he bashes the return straight into the roof of the net. It's a brilliant hit, and it's a massive goal for Chelsea. It really is such a confidence boosting finish to the first half. They are back on level terms and everything to play for now.
Raheem Sterling scoring his 7th of the season. 3 of those have come in the Champions League, adding Dortmund to a roll of honour that includes Salzburg and Leipzig this season, and now Chelsea on the front foot and hungry for more. There's going to be a fair bit of time to be added on at the end of this first half because of the injuries, particularly the early one to Julian Brandt, and we'll find out exactly how much in a moment. Is it going to be 2 extra minutes to be added? The 4th official is just about to put the numbers board up. It's 3, but Chelsea leading courtesy of Raheem Sterling's goal. It's not one that's ever going to be a goal of the season candidate for Chelsea, but in terms of important ones,
Wow.
And do you know what I like about it, Jim? You know what? There's a Chelsea team that have gone after Dortmund. They pinched the ball. They've got it in the box. They've slammed it in there, and people in there to apply a finish.
Now James in towards Havertz, and it's cleared. And out of play for a corner. And it's all Chelsea as half-time approaches.
Brilliant play again. There's that Reece James delivery once more. Short corner taken on the right.
Back to him. Away from Guerrero, Chilwell fires it in. It ricochets off Guerrero, back for James. James a little give and go with Enzo Fernandez. Back for James, pulled back Kovacic, clipping it inside the area. And the improvising Havertz off balance has fired it high and wide.
Terrific stuff. Really good that from Chelsea. And I mentioned before the game with Adrian about seeing a bit of spontaneity at the top of the field. Playing off the cuff, just doing things instinctively. And that's what you're seeing, that's what they're doing. I think Havertz has done really well in the opening period. João Felix has had his moments. Sterling struggled a bit, if I'm being honest, but he's got the all-important goal. And now their tails are up. Now the belief, you can feel, is there. Now they've got to apply that finishing touch. Don't have to do it now, of course. They've got 45 minutes to find it.
11 attempts to 2 in Chelsea's favour, a pretty pertinent statistic. Graham Potter will be really, really pleased with the way that his side have played, the character that they've shown. They've laid the foundation for this fight back, but they've still got to see it through. And now we are in a position that we know we haven't seen the most significant moment of the night. It still lies ahead of us. It's 1-1 on aggregate with 45 minutes and a few seconds of stoppage time left to play. Ball has come off Fofana. And it might break here for Guerrero. Guerrero taking a touch. Cucurella with his mop of hair following him, chasing after him down to the edge of the penalty area. João Felix sticking his foot in. Bellingham threading it through. And Guerrero has it taken off his toes by Chilwell. He was just about to shoot. And Chilwell has made potentially a goal-saving intervention.
Oh, he certainly has. I don't know why Rafa Guerrero wants another touch. Just hit it. It's on his left foot in the box. And it's a lovely little ball from Jude Bellingham to find him. And he's by the penalty spot on his right foot, on his left foot, his strongest foot. And he tries to have another touch.
And now Bellingham turns it around the corner for Özcan. Play back for Bellingham again. Bellingham on the corner of the penalty area, turning it onto his right foot. No way through. A shot that has deflected, and that's the last action of the first half. And listen to this ovation for Chelsea as they leave the field. Hasn't always been the case under Graham Potter that they have left at half-time to such a rousing reception, but it's thoroughly merited. Raheem Sterling with a goal 2 minutes before half-time. 1-0 to Chelsea on the night, 1-1 on aggregate, and it's all in the balance again. Adrian?
Jim, thanks very much. Andy, stay there. I want to talk to you in a second. Some goals have gone in, though. Solihull Moors 3-1 up on Torquay. Wrexham 3 up at Dagenham now. Ollie Palmer's second of the evening. Newport have equalised at Grimsby 1-1. Priestley Farquharson, who used to play beach football for England. And Portsmouth in League One have pulled one back at Barnsley. They trail 2-1. Colby Bishop with the goal. But Andy Townsend, Chelsea 1 up. The tie is level. Yeah. And I think Chelsea totally deserve that. In terms of chances, on and off target in that first half, the stats will tell you Chelsea have dominated.
Yeah, they have. I mean, possession-wise, I'm just looking at the stats. Dortmund have had 59% of the ball, according to all the statisticians out there. But forget that. The biggest and most significant number is the fact that Chelsea have their goal. They're back in the tie. And again, what they've done well, which I haven't seen enough of this season when I've seen them play, is play percentage football sometimes to get it forward. Just turn the ball round into space. Get people running on it. When they get there, put it in the box. All of a sudden, mistakes happen. The ball's bobbling around. Raheem Sterling has an awful attempt at first, and then it drops for him again, and he slams it into the roof of the net, and it's like lift-off here at the bridge. So, you know what? When they go about it at tempo, when they pinch the ball, when they look to play in behind early, then they definitely have what it takes to come through this examination tonight.
You know what, with the goal, everything about it I thought in the build-up was positive. Havertz, he was strong when being challenged. A lovely little flick to keep the ball. Kovacic was direct, he was strong as well.
Yep.
Chilwell was advancing down the left and got a ball into the middle where it's going to do some damage, and it did. And yeah, you could say air shot, but boy, the finish in the end, he slammed it into the roof of the net, Ramsden. You could see the relief on his face as well, but everything was positive for Chelsea there.
Yeah, it was. And again, it's, you know, that's what makes it. I've been very privileged. You and I, Aid, have been privileged to watch so much Champions League football down the years, and I've seen so many of these matches where you just get a moment and something breaks for you and you take that opportunity, and Raheem Sterling did that there. Didn't make the most of the first chance that come his way, but boy, did he make the most of the second one, and he stumped it in the back of the net. He hasn't had a good half. Most of the stuff he's been involved with has either broken down on him or it's bounced off him, got away from him. He's been a little frustrating to watch, but significantly he's been in there when it really mattered. He's got a huge goal for the team, and now Chelsea have to be prepared to really go for it once more. Don't want to see him sit back, sit off, wait and allow Dortmund to roll the ball around, which they're very capable of doing. I want to see Chelsea blood and thunder, keep going, and I think they'll get in front on the night and in the tie. I really do. It's whether then they can hang on to it.
Yeah, I mean, some of the chances they have, Havertz hitting the post, the one that rolled across the line was incredible. Joao Felix side-footing when he really should have blasted and buried it, like Sterling did with the goal. Chilwell blazing miles off target. You thought he was going to do better. They've had the chances to get even more goals, and Ipswich have just got themselves a second goal here. They're going to win tonight. They're going to pick up 3 points, and early in the second half, they've doubled their lead against Accrington. Ian Abrahams.
Yes, Ipswich 2, Accrington, Stanley 0. Caden Jackson with the goal, but it owes so much to the skill down the left-hand side. I think it was Leif Davis actually got to the byline, pulled it across. There was a bit of an air shot in the middle. Talk about Raheem Sterling's air shot. I think it might have been Connor Chaplin in the middle, but when it fell, eventually it came off the bar as well, and when it fell in the end to Caden Jackson, a yard out, just on this right-hand side of the penalty area, right almost by the post, he stuck it into the back of the net. It's Ipswich 2, Accrington Stanley 0, and I can tell you that Ipswich, who haven't conceded a goal for nearly 500 minutes, should be winning this now.
Yep, it should be 3 points wrapped up for Ipswich, and with Plymouth a goal down at Derby as well, it's going to be a good night for everybody at Portman Road. But Andy Townsend, just one more thing. I think that carry on like this and Chelsea should get through the tie. They've created enough chances as we've been talking about, and also Brandt had to go off for Dortmund early on. Everything going Chelsea's way tonight.
Yes, indeed. That was a blow for Dortmund to lose Julian Brandt so early in the game. Gio Reyna has come on, has done okay, not produced one ball across the 6-yard box, which was probably their best situation that they never really had the bodies in there to make the most of. But look, the game very much in the balance. It's about a mistake now, right? A lack of concentration from Chelsea's point of view could allow Dortmund back into this tie to reassert themselves. They can't afford that. They've got to keep pushing, keep pressing, keep pinching that ball in Dortmund's half of the field and pouring men forward in that box. Now they've really done well in that respect. They haven't bossed the possession, but in terms of getting into good areas, good situations, they've definitely looked better than the visitors. They've got to continue that early on in this second half.
Andy, for the time being, thanks very much. Half-time then, Chelsea are 1 up. It's all square, 1 apiece on aggregate. Elsewhere, goals in the National League. Bottom of the table, Maidstone have half the deficit at Wealdstone. The trail 2-1. Boreham Wood, who are just unbeatable at the moment, are 1-0 up at Maidenhead in the National League as well. Solihull Moors 3-1 up on Torquay, but down to 10 men. Jamie Osborne sent off, and here you've just heard Ipswich have gone 2-0 up on Accrington Stanley. You're listening to Kickoff on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Kickoff on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Are you in? Let's go. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Whether you're searching for the latest consoles or retro games, wherever your passion takes you, Visa Secure Technology keeps your payments safe. Visa, how you pay matters.
At first, he was absolutely certain we were parked on level 2. Then he guaranteed it was on level 3. Then we checked on level 1. Now we are back on level 2 again. Ho-ho! I'm lugging the shopping. He keeps pressing the unlock button in the air and going, shh, so we can listen for the beep. Losing the car in the multi-story is Less than ideal, but at least I've got my Costa. Because everything's made a little better when your coffee is. Costa Coffee, made a little better.
It was a day like any other. You'd walk the dog, gone to work, and done the big shop. When suddenly, out of nowhere...
Oh no.
I need a pharmacist!
Take the drama out of minor illnesses, from coughs and colds to itchy eyes and earache. For expert advice, speak to your pharmacist. Your NHS is here for you.
Some things leave you guessing. Like, why are yawns contagious? But not MailChimp. MailChimp eliminates guesswork from email marketing by analysing data from billions of emails to offer up personalised recommendations for how to improve your email content and targeting. Guess less and sell more with Intuit MailChimp.
Things are getting twice as tasty with McDonald's Double Up.
Double Up?
McDonald's are giving away double rewards points.
Double rewards points?
With the new bonus point offer each week.
New bonus point offer each week?
For 3 weeks only.
3 weeks only?
McDonald's Double Up. Get double points on your favourites with My McDonald's Rewards until the 19th of March. Download the McDonald's app now to sign up. Ends 19th March. Offer varies each week. Points only on menu items. Participating restaurants only. 18+. T's and C's apply.
So, took my date to Nando's last night, right? Medium half chicken, spicy rice, garlic bread. Cause man needs no menu. Anyway, she goes, I've never had Nando's garlic bread. And I'm like, what? So, gave her half, she takes a bite, and I swear down, it was love. Then, she binned me off for nicking her last chip. Madness. Nando's, this must be the place.
Football. Live on Talksport.
Yeah, it is Talksport. It's half-time at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea lead 1-0 on the night. 1-1 on aggregate. Second half to come live on Talksport. A couple of goals to tell you about. Barnsley 3, Portsmouth 1 in League One. Devante Cole with the third for the Tykes, who are 8 unbeaten and won 6 of those. They face top 3 in the next 4 games after tonight, though. And in the National League, Dorking started the night just 2 points above the bottom 4. They lead Barnet by 2-1. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Are you in? Let's go. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18+ begambleaware.org.
Well, the whole stadium's rising in applause for Nicola McGeady from Ladbrokes. It's an ovation you deserve, Nicola, I have to say. But listen, Chelsea 1-0 up on the night, 1-1 on aggregate. It's looking good for them. They played well.
It is indeed. Chelsea played really well tonight, Adrian. They're well on top and deservedly in front. The qualifying odds, they flip-flopped. Chelsea are now 4-9 favourites to qualify, with visitors 13-8, while Chelsea are now just 1-4 in the match betting, and Dortmund 14-1 with the draw at 17-4. Sterling got the first. He's 130 to score the second, and for anyone who thinks this will go to penalties, they can get 8-1. As for correct score, well, it's 15-4. It stays the same, but we're seeing support, Adrian, for 2-0 at 17-5.
Nicola, the crowd here loved your work. Thank you very much. That was the latest odds with Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18+ begambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Are you in? Let's go. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18+ begambleaware.org.
Goal in the National League. Chesterfield now 2 up at Southend. Also in the National League, 5th bottom Yeovil have taken the leads against the league's most informed side, Eastleigh. Matt Worthington with the goal. And in League One, Wickham are going to get their first win under Matt Bloomfield. They lead Fleetwood by 2-0. Let's update you from the Championship game at the John Smiths. Mark Wilson.
It's still Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0. We've had 64 minutes on the clock here, pretty much as it was in the first half. Bristol City doing the majority of the attacking. How they weren't in front of the break, I'm not sure. Bell, Sykes and Pring all should have done better with good chances from close range. Vasek, the Huddersfield goalkeeper, has made a couple of fine saves. The offside trap for Huddersfield looks like an accident waiting to happen. Twice it was breached in the first half. Twice Vasek came out to deny Naki Wells. Huddersfield did have a big appeal Huddersfield for a penalty right at the end of the first half. Didn't have a shot on target, but they made a break right before the break. Looked like De Silva did bring down Diarra, but the referee waved it away. Second half, both sides have made a couple of changes. Waghorn and Cromer have come on for Huddersfield. Mehmeti and Cornick have come on for Bristol City, but only one effort of note, and that was Mark Sykes bursting into the box for Bristol City, but his shot was weakly saved. As it stands, Huddersfield look like a team who believe they're already relegated. It's Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0.
Elsewhere, Reading 0, Sheffield United 0, live on Talksport 2. That was an 8 o'clock kickoff. West Brom leading Wigan by a goal to 0 as well. League One, Barnsley 3, Portsmouth 1, Cambridge 1, Morecambe 1, Cheltenham 0, Lincoln 0. And here at Portman Road, the home side, Ian Abraham's very much in control.
Yeah, Ipswich 2, Accrington Stanley 0, and the substitute, a sub who's just come on actually, Cameron Humphreys has just fired over from the edge of the penalty area. Caden Jackson's goal added to that from the first half, scored by Broadhead, Nathan Broadhead, and there could have been more. I think that Ladapo, unlucky not to get a penalty awarded for him at the beginning of the second half. It looked like he was pulled down. Connor Chaplin has fired just over from 22 yards out. It's all Ipswich, and if they were to go on and get 3 or 4, it could be very interesting. Just one question, Adrian. At what point do the 16 Accrington fans decide to beat the traffic?
I think they've left to avoid all the motorway closures they'll experience on the way back to the northwest.
Oh yes, a quick plea for Suffolk, if they can just keep the A12 open until we've gone past.
Just for you.
Right, yeah.
Ipswich 2 up then, Peterborough 1, Shrewsbury 1, Wickham now 2 up as you heard, Derby 1-0 up at Plymouth and an 8 o'clock kick-off. In League 2, Doncaster 0, Harrogate 0, Grimsby 1, Newport 1, Stockport 0, Gillingham 0, Sutton 2, Crawley 0, and Walsall 0, Bradford 0. National League, Bromley 0, York 1, Dagenham Redbridge 0, Wrexham 3. It's Dorking 2, Barnet 1, Gateshead 0, Halifax 0, Maidenhead 0, Bournemouth 1, Oldham 0, Woking 0, Scunthorpe lead Altrincham 1-0, new signing from Barrow, Richie Bennett with the goal. Solihull Moors 3, Torquay 1, Solihull Moors down to 10 men. Southend 1, Chesterfield 2, Southend have just pulled one back. And Wealdstone 2, Maidstone 1, and Yeovil leading Eastleigh by a goal to 0. Chelsea are leading by a goal to 0 as well. It's all square on the night, all to play for in the second half, which is live on Talksport with the former Chelsea captain Andy Townsend alongside your commentator on Talksport, Jim Proudfoot.
Adrian, thank you. The two sets of players back out for the second half. Chelsea blue shirts and shorts, white socks, kicking from left to right. They're defending the shed end. And Dortmund yellow shirts, black shorts. Chelsea dominating nearly every statistical department in that first 45 minutes, with the exception of possession. 40% of the ball, but 11 attempts to 3 in their favour. Game plan's been good. Execution of it, not bad. Certainly good enough. And a wee bit of fortune about the goal when it did come, but over the 45 minutes as a whole, it's deserved. Yep. And they've got 45 minutes to complete the job, Andy.
Absolutely right. And again, look, it's not going to be without its moments where they're going to have to dig deep, defend, and have to get back and make sure that they give everything for the cause in that respect. Champions League football, top-class opponents. You're going to have your moments where you're up against it, but if Chelsea continue to commit people forward, brave enough and courageous enough to just really go for it at the top of the field, I think there's more goals here for them tonight.
They have the ball now with Reece James. Havertz. Oh, it's a good ball forward. Sterling taking a great turn from him. Oh, what a good ball. Out wide towards Ben Chilwell. Maybe a little bit heavy, but he's got there in space. His cross not the best. It's hit Wolf on the arm. Referee says play on for now. Right-footed effort comes in. That's deflected into the hands of the goalkeeper. And the VAR, Paul van Berkel, will be having a look at that. But referee McAlee hasn't told goalkeeper that Meyer to stop. It certainly was smacked out in the arm, was away from the side of the body for me.
Yep, I didn't see, from what I saw, Jim, I didn't see the arm move towards the ball or deviate. Ben Chilwell was only a couple of yards away from Wolf when he actually clipped it in and it hit his arm. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But Danny McAlee, the referee, is just asking everyone to wait as the ball's gone out for a throw, so it's maybe closer than we think.
Well, they've had a long look at it because we're, 45, 50 seconds after the incident, and they're still looking. They tend to make handball decisions pretty quickly in the Champions League, and that makes me think Chelsea might be in business here.
Yeah,
we haven't seen a replay of it. Danny McAlee has told Chelsea to stop, don't take the throw. Joao Felix is having a word with him. Gio Reyna is there as well. Now Danny McAlee just waiting for instruction from Paul van Berkel as to what happens next.
I wonder if the delay is whether Wolf is actually in the box or not in the box. He's going to have a look at it. It must be very, very close.
So Danny McAlee makes his way over to the far side where the referee review area is. Now we're having a look at it. The cross comes in from Chilwell, and the hand from Wolf almost involuntarily just comes out a fraction away from his body.
I don't think it's a pen. Personally, I don't think that's a penalty, but it would not surprise me one bit if it's given. Wolf almost turns his head away. He doesn't even know where the ball is because he thinks he's going to get the ball in the face. He's not very brave, actually. And his arm is a fraction outside of his body.
It's given. Penalty to Chelsea for the handball by Wolf. And Dortmund are furious. And they're quick to let Danny McAlee know. You can understand why there was a lot of conjecture. From that point of view, you could say that it wasn't a clear and obvious error.
Exactly.
But
exactly right.
Chelsea don't care because they have the chance now to go 2-0 up on the night and 2-1 up on aggregate. Where's Jorginho when you need him? Oh yeah, he's at Arsenal. But it's going to be Kai Havertz that will take it. And a lot has been made of the fact that Havertz is the new penalty taker. I don't want to tempt fate by mentioning the fact that within regulation game time in his career, he's never missed one, has missed one in a shootout for Chelsea. And still, Danny McAlee is in discussion with all and sundry about the decision.
Yeah, the Dortmund players are still complaining. That's all part of the game now. They're just trying to delay Kai Havertz as long as possible. Look, I think Kai Havertz has played really well on the night. Been very impressed with his work so far this evening. Go on, son, put that ball on the spot, have something positive in your mind and go for it.
Hasn't scored in his last 7 games. 1 goal in 7 Champions League games this season. He's never scored against Dortmund. But this is a monumental moment. 5 minutes into the second half of the second leg. Havertz stands, hands on hips. He's going to be taking on Alex Meyer, bobbing up and down on the spot. Havertz, little jinking run up. Oh, he's hit the post! And it breaks back to the penalty spot and it's shanked away to safety. He hit the post in the first half in open play and he's now hit the post from the penalty spot. The first miss of his career in normal play, and it is a monumental one.
Wow, wow. What a moment that is. Incredible. He's tiptoed up to the ball a little bit with a little stutter. He's had a look at the goalie. I would just love to have seen him there put the ball down and go for it. Now hold on, there's another delay. Jim, has someone gone in the box? Let's have a look. I think there's encroaching here. We could have a retake.
Well, they are checking for encroachment. And it's a retake. Well, if Graham Potter has looked at the first few months he's had as Chelsea manager and thought that he hasn't had much luck, he's getting it back in spades tonight. It was a lousy penalty from Havertz in the fact that it was off target. It hit the post. It comes out. There are any number of players encroaching from both sides, but the one that clears it to safety is encroaching. And that is why it's a retake.
Now, Havertz has got the ball under his arm again. And I've seen a couple of conversations from Reece James, maybe 1 or 2 others, about do you take that off him? Does someone else take it, or do you let him go again?
Well, that's got to be Potter's decision.
I don't think it is at this point. I really don't, because I beg your pardon, Kai Havertz, as soon as Danny McAlee pointed to the spot for the penalty to be retaken, he grabbed the ball. He's got it again in his arms. Joao Felix has had a word with him. Reece James has had a word with him. And the last thing you want to do too much is just disturb his concentration anymore. He's adamant he's going to take it. He's the man. He's over the ball again right now.
Okay, so the first one, little stuttering run up and then hit it left-footed against the right-hand post as we look at it. He spotted it down. Maybe an extra step back from the ball this time. What's going through his mind? He's put it in! Went the same way into the bottom right-hand corner. And this time he has scored. And Chelsea lead Dortmund by 2-0. They're 2-1 up on aggregate, and as things stand right now, they're heading through to the Champions League quarter-finals. Their season still alive.
The protests continue, Jim, from the Dortmund players around the referee again. I just want to see exactly what happened in terms of any encroachment on that penalty from Kai Havertz. No doubt, no denying that he slots it perfectly in the corner of the net. I don't think there's anything going to become of it, but no, that's right. It doesn't look like there should be either. But it's a huge moment for Chelsea. It's a huge moment for their season, and maybe a more significant one for their coach, as you say, who's been right under the cosh in recent weeks. But you know what? His team have been positive tonight. They've been, from the get-go, they've been up to speed, and so you get a bit of luck. Well, the beauty of having a bit of luck is when you take the most of it, when you make the most of it. And Chelsea have done that here tonight.
Wow. Chelsea 2, Dortmund 0. So as things stand right now, the Blues would be heading through. They're 2 up against the side who've won 10 in a row in all competitions. High drama here, and there's been drama elsewhere around the country. Let's catch up with some other goals. Firstly, League One, Home Park, John Roder.
Yeah, well, Plymouth Argyle have equalised. Matete and Azaz combining well. Callum Wright on as a substitute just 3 minutes beforehand, making it 1-1. Huge goal for Argyle.
And our live game on Talksport 2 right now, Reading against Sheffield United. Iliman Ndiaye has scored on the hour mark for the Blades, his 12th of the season. Sheffield United leading at Reading would take them 7 points clear of third place Middlesbrough. Here's Rayner with an effort. Chilwell got his head to it, headed away, and then whacks it clear. And Sterling's run from inside his own half. He's onside, but the ball is going to bounce in the penalty area, where Meyer's momentum came so close to him carrying it outside the box. Yeah. But referee Mackley said no case to answer, you are fine. And play continues. What a game we've got at the Bridge.
Fine margins at the highest order really tonight, honestly. Really is, but Chelsea have had to work really hard to get themselves into a winning position now. How are they going to manage it? How do they see it out from here? I still think there's more goals for them. I really do, but Dortmund will push, they will press, there might be changes. Expect a response from a team that's been so good lately.
Well, it's a Dortmund side that have only failed to score in 4 of their last 66 games. So there was always a sense that Chelsea might have to score 2 tonight if they were going to get this job done. 1 wouldn't be enough, but they've got the 2. That you would have to think is the hard bit. I mean, they played a dozen games since they last even got 2, which was against Bournemouth. It's the first time in 2023 they've scored twice in a game. Good sense of timing. But they've got 34 minutes to hold on to this aggregate lead on Talksport. Sterling on 43, Havertz from the spot. The twice taken penalty on 53, and Havertz with a cross here, which is deflected away for a throw.
Yeah, and that's a long time. You know, it's a long time. So Chelsea have to continue to push and to squeeze Dortmund in their own half of the field to try and pinch the ball and create chances and situations. Of course, Enzo Fernandez and maybe Mateo Kovacic have an eye to protect Koulibaly and Fofana and Cucurella at the back. They don't have to go crazy now, pushing forward too much, but they can still allow those forward players to get into those good areas to try and add to their tally.
Long ball from Koulibaly, too long for the run from left wing back from Ben Chilwell. And the ball goes through the Dortmund goalkeeper. There's been another goal at Home Park, John Roder.
2-1 to Plymouth Argyle, a terrific turnaround from the home team. A foul on Finn Aziz in the penalty area. Ryan Hardy, his 17th goal of the season, hit it to the goalkeeper's right. He went the other way. Plymouth 2, Derby 1.
Harrogate in the bottom 4 of League 2. A couple of quick goals for them at Doncaster, including one for leading scorer Luke Armstrong. They're 2-0 up with 5 minutes to play at Doncaster. Be a big win for Simon Weaver's Harrogate, that. Here's Wolf on the right-hand side for Dortmund. Thrashes the ball inside the area. Enzo Fernandez is back to head it away. Still they'll come. Özcan towards the edge of the box. Rayner's involved. Bellingham flicks it off to Özcan to his left. Now back in from Guerrero's deflected. Bellingham! Oh, he's put it wide. He's 6 yards out. And he's put it wide. And that's another massive let-off for Chelsea.
Oh, my goodness. What a chance that is for Jude Bellingham. Brilliant football from Dortmund. Across Chelsea's 18-yard box, out to this left-hand side where the cross from Guerrero eventually finds Jude Bellingham slap bang in the middle of the goal on the 6-yard line. Goal at his absolute mercy. Puts a side foot on it and knocks it wide of the post. Astonishing miss that. If he just laces it, then not even think about it, then Dortmund would have scored, no doubt about that, but that's a huge miss.
Well, shots on target have been at a real premium as far as Dortmund are concerned. Not for Benfica tonight. They're 4 up at home to Bruges and going through the 6-0 up on aggregate. Gonzalo Ramos has got a couple of those. João Mario with one as well. The ball's just deflected away off Sterling and goes out of play for a goal kick. Got to be taken by Dortmund. You're listening to the Champions League. It's live on Talksport with Till, the card payment provider from NatWest. Jim Proudfoot and Andy Townsend talking through the action at Stamford Bridge tonight. Chelsea now in a position that even if they concede, they wouldn't be eliminated. It would take the game potentially to extra time. No away goals, as I'm sure you're aware, these days in Europe. So it wouldn't be like it would have been in the old days that a goal for Dortmund would be enough for them and put them in the box seat. It would just tie things up again on aggregate. It's 2-0 to Chelsea on the night. They're 2-1 up on aggregate. High drama and a little bit of luck, but listen, any side that wins anything in Europe is going to have some luck along the way. Yep. Suggesting Chelsea are going to win in Europe this season on the back of beating Dortmund if they do beat Dortmund, but you understand the point that I'm trying to make. You can't begrudge them a little bit of luck when you certainly haven't had the rub of the green for the last few months. Here's Guerrero bringing the ball forward now for Dortmund, and it comes down towards Haller, who has just been a spectator, really, the former West Ham man. Back it comes for Bellingham. Bellingham's got Haller making a run ahead of him. Still Bellingham goes. Little flick towards Guerrero. Bellingham trying to poke it back to him. Chelsea get it out of harm's way. Fernandez wasn't too sure where the ball was for a moment. Who was where? He did get it clear. Played forward from the back by Özcan. Now to Emre Can from distance, and Kepa makes the save.
Yeah, cross-come shot from Emre Can. Sebastian Haller running across the line of it. Couldn't get anything on it. And Kepa was able to deal with it. Look, they're going to have to ask players to defend. They're going to live on their nerves a bit, Chelsea. Of course, Dortmund are going to push forward. Jude Bellingham, since they've gone behind, is now taken up positions 10 yards further forward and is becoming more of an influence on the game.
Dortmund having to be a little bit more proactive, a little bit more inventive, and in doing so might allow Chelsea more opportunities on the counter-attack. Havertz just loses out. The crowd quick to let him know that he should have been aware of Bellingham's presence coming in from behind him. Ball laid back by Sula. The centre half, Bellingham trying to clip it over the top for the run of Wolf. It's headed away back for Jude Bellingham again. That's a good ball in. Koulibaly, though, did well. Digs it clear from the edge of the 6-yard box. High up and under, which is brought down on the edge of the box by João Felix, who's won the free kick for Chelsea, and a little bit of respite after 3 or 4 minutes of Dortmund pressure.
Yeah, it's been breathless stuff, hasn't it? It really has. We had that genuine drama with the penalty, I think, initially being given, and then the retake, and then Kai Havertz coolly stepping forward to slot it in to give Chelsea that cushion that they want. But it's not a significant one. It's not one that all of a sudden you decide to sit on the edge of your box and try and see the game out. No way. There's too long left to play yet. They've got to push forward. Dortmund will come, and will come in numbers, and that means Chelsea just might have a chance to get an all-important third. Then they have a genuine cushion. The way the game is situated and balanced at the minute, it's on a knife edge.
Well, Chelsea Trying to overturn a first leg deficit. Tottenham trying to do that tomorrow. Adrian Durham presenting tomorrow's Champions League action from Tottenham. Our live game, Bayern against PSG. One of the favourites will be going out. And it's live on Talksport. An 8 o'clock kickoff. Build-up starts at 7 from Spurs against AC Milan. Arsenal then in action in the Europa League at Sporting Lisbon. We've got that for you on Thursday. That's a 5:45 kickoff. And it's on Talksport 2. Chelsea trying to bring the ball forward, lost out, but then Guerrero was dispossessed brilliantly in the midfield by James. Kovacic out wide, and Felix and Chilwell making ground down that left-hand side. Chilwell chasing after it, kept it in and forced Wolf to play it, and he did well to get it forward down that right-hand side and find Reina. His control let him down, and Chelsea have a throw. Cucurella's in no hurry to take. 63 gone, 2-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah. Such an intriguing watch, and this is Champions League football, you know, at its best, when games are so finely balanced. It really is. Everybody at the bridge loving every second of this. And this is absolutely what you want to see in this competition. This is why it is the best. When it gets to this stage where there's so many good players out there, anything can happen, and we're still at that stage here at the bridge. But Chelsea have definitely got something to hang on to. So the likes of Koulibaly, Cucurella and Fofana, those three central defenders, Enzo Fernandez and Kovacic, have to make sure that they've always got that back door firmly closed and do not allow Dortmund anything silly. If they earn it with a brilliant strike from 30 yards, sometimes nothing you can do about that. But nothing soft. Chelsea mustn't concede anything poor now. Full concentration required.
First chance come off, and Jamie Bino Gittins has come on to replace him. An 18-year-old England under-19 winger. 3 Bundesliga goals for Dortmund this season. The former Reading and Manchester City youngster. So he's on. Dortmund bringing it forward inside the area. Wolf, good save for Riva Balaga. Bounces inside the 6-yard box. Bino Gittins will get a touch. But it's a Chelsea free kick inside their box after a foul on Wesley Fofana.
Brilliant stop from Kepa there moments ago. Lovely football from Dortmund down their right side. Gio Reyna it was, and Marius Wolf, the right back, combined really nicely, kept lovely composure in the box to give Wolf a chance to work the goalkeeper. He hit it really hard. Kepa dives to his right, gets a big hand on it, sends it up in the air.
Frankie Kent has scored what might prove to be a late winner for Peterborough. 2-1 up at home to Shrewsbury with no time remaining. Yellow card for Aretha Balaga for delaying the restart. You talk about the Chelsea fans loving it. They're living it as well. They are really passionate, kicking every ball. Fans just in front of us, just on the edge. Really a study of tension in everything that is going on. It's fantastic drama in the Champions League tonight. 2-0 to Chelsea, 2-1 they lead on aggregate. Even the most die-hard Chelsea fan would admit that they didn't necessarily see this coming tonight. It's Bellingham. One back well by Enzo Fernandez. Played it down the line. Guerrero slides it out of play. Throw to Chelsea, and they're only 25 minutes from home and a place in the quarters, Andy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now is not the time, though, to be thinking about running the clock down and trying to see a game out and manage it. You keep playing and pushing to add to what they've got. I think there's more chances here for them, I really do. However, Dortmund are no mugs, we know that. They're a very powerful team and have been in outstanding form recently, so they will still feel that they can get back in this. Jude Bellingham, how on earth he misses that, I do not know. He's played really well for the last 15 minutes, and it was a big chance for him.
Now Chelsea are going to make a change. Conor Gallagher is going to be coming on. And the changes that Graham Potter made at the weekend were criticised. The timing of them, the fact that they were deemed to be defensive-minded changes. Joao Felix is coming off and Conor Gallagher is coming on here. That happened at the weekend. I don't think there's the same incredulity about the change tonight as there was then. It is about, to an extent, shutting up shop, and I'm not suggesting that Conor Gallagher is a defensive midfielder and that's all that there is to his game. As Havertz snatches at a shot from 30 yards and shanks it wide. But you can understand the logic of what Graham Potter's done there.
Yeah, I think I can. Look, João Felix I thought played very well. Just seeing exactly how they're setting up. Conor Gallagher has gone in there with Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez, so Raheem Sterling and Kai Havertz will split a little bit. So just a slight tactical tweak to just give them a little bit more solidity in the middle of the park where Dortmund are pushing, and they are going to no doubt make changes of their own and try and add to their forward line and give themselves as many chances as they can to get back into it. So Graham Potter is just getting Conor Gallagher out there, and I think someone with his energy, he's a good runner, he's a good worker, and that's what you need now. Everybody foot to the floor right till the final whistle.
Schlotterbeck plays it forward. Bellingham had fallen over, he collided with Koulibaly. Too much on the ball, which was chased by Marco Reus. He's another who's been quiet for Dortmund tonight. The ball going through for Kepa. And eventually he gets it clear. Long right-footed ball forward over halfway. Headed down out the back by Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck then flicking it forward. Allaire giving chase, but again the ball was heavy. And Aretha Balaga is able to pick it up. Bowling it out now for Enzo Fernandez with Talksport. 68 on the clock. 2-0 to Chelsea. The goals from Sterling on 43 and Havertz with a twice taken penalty on 53 after his first one had hit the post, but there was some encroachment. And so he got a retake and he scored it. Nicolas Süle for Dortmund, the centre half. Play forward by him. Dahoud might be coming on shortly for Dortmund. Allaire was in there and went to ground and has won the free kick. Back he goes for Reina. Reina towards the edge of the centre circle for Bellingham, and back through the midfield again. Still Dortmund pushing forward. Bellingham firing it out wide. Wolf able to bring it down. A yard in from the right-hand touchline. Royce making a run ahead of him. He can't turn away from Cucurella. Cucurella goes down towards the corner flag and clears. It goes out of play. We'll go back to Portman Road here on Talksport. Ian Abrahams.
And it's still Ipswich 2, Accrington 0, but the Accrington goalkeeper Jensen has just been sent off. Problem is they've used all their subs. They're now going to find someone who fancies going in goal. That could take some time. Ipswich 2, Accrington 0.
Schlotterbeck has got it here for Dortmund. And they've got 20 minutes to score a goal that would take this to extra time. Haller. Koulibaly came out and Allaire was able to flick it out towards the right-hand touchline. Dortmund able to bring the ball forward again. Their fans still making good noise. Guerrero plays it in. Koulibaly heads it away. Chested down by Emre Can. Flicks it up right-footed. Well brought down by Reina. Cushioned little layoff out towards Wolf on the right-hand touchline. The two exchange further passes. Süle still forward in support. Can 10 yards outside the box. Trying to slip it through. Cucurella is there and knocks it away from Nicolas Süle. They are gambling, and the counter-attacks are on for Chelsea if they can work it. They've got one such opportunity now. Havertz out towards the right-hand side for Reece James. Sterling in the middle. Gallagher had made a really good uncharted run, but they couldn't play him in. Havertz has got it. He's 10 yards outside the box, but Chelsea far too slow to make anything of this. Gallagher's still got it, though, right-hand side of the penalty area. Wins the corner, but there wasn't the cutting edge on the counter that there should have been.
Yeah, see, Kai Havertz there, the ball was rolled back to him. He was in shooting distance and he decided to keep it. Now, as it happens, look, they've kept the ball and Conor Gallagher forces a corner. I think there he's on the edge of the box. He's 20 yards out on his left foot. Take the shot, have a go. He's been unlucky with that one that hit the post first half, and then he got a bit of good fortune with his penalty retake. Who knows? It might be his night to knock another one in.
Ben Chilwell's going to take this corner. It's Chelsea's fourth and their first of the second half. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger unless he goes short for Gallagher. Gallagher's waved away. So Chilwell firing it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It was headed away by Wolf. It's back in from Kovacic. Away again by Emre Can, and then Wolf again Falls for Enzo Fernandez, 15 yards outside the penalty area, and he's done well to feed Marc Cucurella. Cucurella drives it in via a deflection, cleared by Sula. And out of play for a throw to Chelsea over on the far touchline. Another late goal at Ipswich for Ian Abrahams.
Ipswich 3, Accrington 0. Remember I told you keep a set off for bringing down a player. Kyle Edwards free kick 25 yards out, exacted revenge. 3-0, Ipswich 3, Accrington 0.
Oh, it's been a great game here. I sense that it probably wasn't at Huddersfield tonight, Mark Wilson.
Quite right, Jim. Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0. Huddersfield had a couple of great chances at the end. Wagon's header cleared off the line, and O'Leary made a great save. Town 6 points from safety now, ended here. Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0.
Yeah, stopped the rot after those 2 big defeats. But it's only 1 win in 12 for Neil Warnock's men. Here's Bellingham, and he's played it to his right-hand side for Reina. Sula, not too far away. I think Aretha Balaga dived inside it in the end. He knew he had it covered as the centre-half whistles one wide. But he's pushing forward all the time now, Nicholas Sula.
Yeah, they all are, Jim. They all are. Nicholas Sula from that central defensive position just finds himself about 27, 28 yards out on the angle, gets the ball out of his feet, and the Chelsea players, I think, are happy in some ways for him to take the shot from that sort of distance, trusting that their goalkeeper would deal with it. As it wasn't on target.
17 minutes now for Chelsea to hang on, keep a clean sheet, and they're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And you can have your say after kick-off, live on Talksport tonight. The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy open for business from 10 o'clock or so. This is a late kick-off, remember. We got underway at 8:10, but at the conclusion of this game, after we've summed it all up, you can speak to Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy, 03717 223344, the number for you to call, and you can have your say on national radio tonight. Kai Havertz for Chelsea. Another Chelsea goal now, and they'll feel that they're all but there. Sterling wins a corner. Will it come from this latest set piece?
Good play again from Kai Havertz. Been very impressed with his performance tonight all round. He's led the line well, he's looked dangerous, he's supplied little clever passes and link up with his teammates, and he's been a really important player for his team tonight.
Still the Dortmund fans in fine voice. Still their team heading out. Kovacic waiting on the edge of the box. Fernandez there as well. Fofana making a near post run. It almost got to him. And the corner fired in and then eventually cleared by Bino Giddins. And picked up at the back by Chelsea's Reece James. Finds Cucurella. Cucurella all left foot. Got it onto his favoured side to feed Enzo Fernandez. Worked then wide for Ben Chilwell. And Kovacic back for Chilwell again. Chelsea still in control, but lose possession now to Bellingham in the midfield. It's one back for a moment. Bino Giddins will be able to pick it up though for Dortmund. Just ran into Fernandez. Fernandez for Gallagher, and he's released Sterling. Now he might be offside, but he's clean through. It's Raheem Sterling, square for Conor Gallagher, who taps it in for 3. And again, the flag comes up as we thought that it would. Full time at Ipswich, Ian Abrahams.
Ipswich 3, Accrington 0. Broadhead rounded off a good team move in the first half to give Ipswich the lead. Then Caden Jackson against his old club from close range, and Kyle Edwards with a 25-yard free kick rounded off the scoring. Accrington had the keeper set off as well, backed by 16 fans. Finished here, Ipswich 3, Accrington 0.
3-0 to Ipswich, and their promotion chase is gathering a little bit of strength now. Ball on the edge of the centre circle for Gio Reyna for Dortmund, and if they score with 15 minutes to go, then they will be in a position to take this to extra time. Bino Giddins back for Bellingham in the midfield. Andy?
Very nearly 3-0, Jim. Just Raheem Sterling just a couple of yards offside again, but that through ball is very much on now.
Wolves ball in, Koulibaly gets it away. And as we were saying, Dortmund know that they've got to twist rather than stick, and they know that there is a risk-reward strategy here, and it's high risk, but they've got no other option.
At times, they're one-on-one at the back on the halfway line. So you can imagine if, as Mateo Kovacic did just now, he rode a couple of challenges, picked his head up, popped it through for Raheem Sterling, but again, he's just gone a little early, and he was always offside before that move actually played out, and Conor Gallagher rolled it into an empty net.
The former West Ham striker Seb Allaire replaced by the former Arsenal trainee Donyell Malen, who missed Friday's league game because of an ankle problem, not fully fit. He's come on for the final 15 minutes or so here with Guerrero in possession for Dortmund, who are 2-0 down. He's ridden the challenge of Enzo Fernandez, who's fouled him, and it's a yellow card and a free kick to Dortmund. So it's finishing the championship. Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0 in League One. These are results. Barnsley 3, Portsmouth 1, Cambridge 1, Morecambe 1, 0-0 Cheltenham Lincoln, Ipswich 3, Accrington 0, Peterborough 2, Shrewsbury 1, Wycombe 2, Fleetwood 0. And in League 2, Doncaster 0, Harrogate 2, Grimsby 1, Newport 1, Stockport 0, Gillingham 0, Sutton 3, Crawley 0, Walsall 0, Bradford 0, and the big game in the National League tonight, Wrexham won 4-0 at Dagenham and Redbridge, and they're 4 points clear of Notts County at the top of the table. Free kick then to Dortmund. Royce leaves it, it's clicked in towards the penalty spot and headed away, and then Kovacic completes the clearance. Bino Giddens on the end of it for Dortmund. All he can do is head it out of play for a Chelsea throw, and they'll run a few more seconds off the clock. And there are now only 12 minutes to go.
Yes, now we're getting to that point in the game where it's difficult as players to not see the finishing line, to not feel like you want to try and just manage this game, draw your fouls high up the field, take your time, get your throw-ins, get your corners, etc., etc., and gradually start to see the game out. That's being professional, that's understanding exactly what's at stake. So again, I still think there's going to be a chance or two for Dortmund, at least a good situation or two before we're all done here this evening. But Chelsea have worked tremendously hard to be in a position where they are approaching 10 minutes away from what would be a magnificent night's work.
Those are the thoughts of the former Chelsea captain Andy Townsend here on Talksport. And Andy, with more of his thoughts and reflection on everything that's happened tonight on Talksport Breakfast tomorrow with Ali McCoist, who'll be pretty pleased with this as well, and Laura Woods at 6 tomorrow morning. Here's Bino Giddens trying to bulldoze his way through the midfield for Dortmund. It's cleared by Chelsea, and the resulting Dortmund throw can't be taken yet. Schlotterbeck's told that by the referee because of an injury for Conor Gallagher, which has been picked up about 6 or 7 yards outside the penalty area.
I think Rafa Guerrero has played really well for Borussia Dortmund in the second half. He is an ambitious, you mentioned it at the start of the night, Jim, he's a forward-thinking full-back. I think he's done really well in the second period, as have a number of his teammates. Jude Bellingham far more prominent in the second half than the first.
There was 11 shots to 3 in Chelsea's favour in the first half. I think it's 6-2 in Dortmund's favour in this second half. But the bottom line is that Chelsea have scored in this second half as well with that Kai Havertz penalty, and they've managed the game pretty effectively since going 2-0 up and taking the aggregate lead. No problems for Benfica tonight. Only one defeat and 42 for them now in all competitions. They've beaten Bruges by 5-1. The pressure will intensify on Scott Parker after that 7-1 on aggregate. And Benfica are through. Bino Giddens has gone down towards the byline, he's overrun it, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick. And by the time Kepa takes it, we'll be in the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's just trying to do a little too much there. Jamie Bino Giddens got to the byline, and he's trying to just find a little bit of space, and the ball ends up rolling out for a goal kick before he gets a chance to stand a cross up. Vitally important now, Borussia Dortmund, that they do put the ball in the box. They do force situations, corners themselves, because that will really make everybody in Stamford Bridge a little edgy as we coast towards the line.
Christian Pulisic's been struggling with a knee injury, hasn't played since January the 5th. But he's going to come on against his old club in a moment. He's just getting his final instructions from Bjorn Hamberg, the Chelsea coach. Enzo Fernandez winning it back. Sterling doing well, taking it into his stride. Now he can try and run at Sula, although Emre Can was very quickly back goal side as well. That forced Sterling to retrace his steps, to retain possession. Chilwell's played it back to him. Sterling went to ground. He was trying to buy a free kick, and the referee wasn't having it. And Dortmund can bring it away in their right back position. But time against them with 8.5 plus stoppage time to go. Chelsea leading 2-0 on the night and 2-1 on aggregate here on Talksport as Guerrero plays it forward for Bino Giddens, and James slides it out of play. But Chelsea will make what's going to be a double change. Pulisic coming on, and Loftus-Cheek is going to be coming on as well. Mateo Kovacic, the first player to be withdrawn, and Raheem Sterling the second.
Yep. Don't blame Graham Potter at all right now, because he needs as much energy as in the middle of the park, yes, but also at the top of the field, where they can keep chasing those lost causes and just trying to hang on to that ball and tick the seconds away. So look, Raheem Sterling, not his best night's work, but maybe one of his most important in a Chelsea shirt, because the first goal was massive for the team to set them on the right path.
So Loftus-Cheek on, played in central midfield in the first leg. He played at right wing back against Leeds at the weekend, and he's playing on the left hand side of a midfield three at the moment. Here's Reina for Dortmund, almost found its way through for Donyell Malen, but Reece James made sure that it didn't. Thought they'd missed him. Reece James, when he's had his moments out of the team through injury this season. Emre Can goes back for his goalkeeper. Dortmund will work it back to the keeper from Sula, and it's cleared by Maya. Brought back down again by Loftus-Cheek. Takes a tumble, no foul by Sula. Gets a slap on the back from Schlotterbeck, and Bellingham will bring it forward. And he goes back out towards the right-hand touchline again. Reina has it. Reina inside the centre circle. Down for Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck 5 yards in from the left-hand touchline, down towards Guerrera. And then the challenge comes in from James to put it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, good challenge that. Wesley Fofana as well, making sure that every chance he gets to pinch the ball, he steps forward and intercepts.
Throw taken by Guerrero. Guerrero back for Schlotterbeck, and back to Emre Can. Will be back down at Plymouth in a moment for full-time details, as Can has it. It's gone to Nicolas Sula on the right-hand side for Dortmund, and every outfield player is in Chelsea territory now. Well, most of the time in Chelsea territory. Schlotterbeck back for Reina. Reina's given it away.
Chance.
Here's a counter-attacking opportunity. 3 against 2. Loftus-Cheek playing it forward for Gallagher, but referees pulled it back for a foul and a free kick to Dortmund upfield. So let's get full-time details of a big win for Plymouth, John.
Plymouth Argyle 2, Derby County 1. Plymouth level on points with Sheffield Wednesday at the top of League One now, both on 74. They came from behind. Nathaniel Mendez-Lang putting Derby in front. Callum Wright and then Ryan Hardy with a penalty, turning it around. Plymouth 2, Derby 1.
Yeah, Argyle winning it with Ryan Hardy, 17th of the season. Particularly big win for Plymouth, that bearing in mind that Ipswich won comfortably tonight as well. So the gap between second and third stays as it was. Marco Reus to take this free kick then for Dortmund. Remember, a goal, and he breaks the club record. He's left it for Guerrero. Guerrero swinging it in. Chelsea players deliberately got out of the way of it so that it broke outside the area, and Chilwell can hammer it away, a real old-fashioned up and under towards halfway. And Dortmund peg all the way back, will take a throw on halfway and work it back to the keeper.
Yeah, wide free kick they had there with Marco Reus and Guerrero standing over the ball clipped into the box. No yellow shirt able to get on the end of it. As you say, Ben Chilwell just humping it forward. That's all you can do. That's what you have to do.
Now Zakari is going to come on in a moment for Chelsea, but they've given another free kick away.
Got to be a little careful with these, Jim. They're giving a lot of free kicks away, and that's just inviting them to put balls in the box. They're taking it short.
Yeah, they haven't set anything up this time. They just worked it short quickly through to Bellingham, and now to Emre Can. 2-0 Chelsea lead, 4 minutes to go, 2-1 on aggregate. Dortmund up against it. Chelsea not on the ropes as such, because Kepa's not had a difficult save to make for a good 20 minutes. He made one really important save.
Yes, he did. From Marius Wolf, he made a really good stop from him. But you're right, lots of situations where the ball's coming in the box, but nothing convincing, nothing that's going to tell you that Dortmund are going to force something in. The Bellingham chance was just an incredible miss. It really was. But they haven't really done enough in the 6-yard box. Chelsea have defended that area well.
It's finished live over on Talksport 2. Reading 0, Sheffield United 1. So the Blades now 7 points clear of third place Middlesbrough. And after 3 defeats in 4 league games, it's a big win for them. And Reading still struggling, falling down the table a bit. Chelsea make the change, Enzo Fernandez off. And Dennis Zakaria is the man that has come on to replace him with 4 minutes of normal time to go. Plus stoppage time. Chelsea hoping beyond hope that it doesn't go to extra time. Emre Can. Bellingham sweeping it out to the far touchline again. The Borussia Dortmund right. Back it goes for Süle. Süle to Can. Schlotterbeck pushing forward down the left. Can will go alone. Played into the feet around the edge of the penalty area of Reina, who did well to adjust and got the ball out from underneath his feet to find Bino Gittins. He will pick it up, the young Englishman, and turn it back through the midfield again to Reina. Schlotterbeck to Süle. Chelsea with a line of 5 behind the ball. Ball over the head of Reece James. It's kept in, down by the left-hand corner flag by Reina. Headed away inside the penalty area by James. And out of play for a throw. And there are 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go.
It takes too long there, Gio Reyna. Get that cross into the box. He just delayed the cross when he had tons of time to actually make sure he finds someone in between penalty spot and 6-yard box. Opportunity missed there for Dortmund.
Marlon trying to get inside the penalty area. He's back outside the box by Fofana. Emre Can 30 yards out. Think he thought about a shot. Sensibly slipped it off towards Süle. Wolf with a delivery. Bino Gittins going up for it. Bellingham heading it over the bar. And Chelsea survive another attack, and they are so close now. Full-time details from the Hawthorns. Here's Jeff Peters.
And West Brom have beaten Wigan 1-0, a 9th home win in 10. 4 points shy of the playoffs. Daryl Dike's first half header was enough. Dyke and Townsend denied by Amos. Swift and Wallace hit the woodwork. Wigan rarely threatened, but almost nicked a stoppage time equaliser. They're now bottom of the table. West Brom win 1-0.
They remain 6 points off safety. 1 win in 16 for Sean Maloney's men, although he's not charged with too many of them himself. That's the situation he inherited. 13 without an away win and in desperate trouble. Here are Dortmund bringing it forward. A minute to go. Still waiting for any indication of how many minutes of stoppage time are going to be added. Gallagher, Loftus-Cheek, fall for Havertz. Havertz on halfway, slips it forward. Oh, he didn't quite have the finesse to play Pulisic in. Pulisic can get there, but Dortmund have got bodies back goal side. Another goal for Chelsea now, kills it. Zakaria to Cucurella. Chilwell making ground to the left. Loftus-Cheek with a little backheel flick for Cucurella. Chilwell will try and deliver. Marco Reus can stop that happening, but back it will come through the midfield again with Gallagher. Played inside the penalty area, but Süle smuggles it back to his goalkeeper. Meyer will clear. All eyes on the fourth official, Joachim Kamphaus, as the ball is put wide by Pulisic, but the flag up anyway. How many minutes have Chelsea got to hang on for?
It's coming right now. The board is up.
6. And a few nervous groans emanate around Stamford Bridge. And this was a late kick-off anyway. So Sports Bar follows us, and the reaction to here with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy taking your calls on 03717 223344. You can book those calls now, though. Have your say on national radio. Havertz has done well, slips it through towards Zakaria. 3 against 2 for Chelsea. Can they put it to bed? Zakaria fires it in. Really larricked it across the penalty area when maybe a slightly tamer, cuter ball would have been the order of the day. Havertz can pick it up down by the corner flag, but he was hitting with such ferocity. There was no chance for any of Zakaria's teammates to get on the end of it.
He didn't need to play it then, Jim, either.
Now a skirmish over on the far side as the ball had gone out of play. Loftus-Cheek is in there. I think Chelsea trying to stop the throw being taken quickly. Marc Cucurella in there as well. Koulibaly, never a shrinking violet, and Emre Can are there. The yellow card shown to Chilwell for his part in it. Chilwell just trying to get away. Was Wolf down the right-hand side. Chilwell pulled him back. And then did he kick the ball away as well once the decision had gone against him. He's got a yellow card, but that doesn't invoke a suspension. We're in stoppage time. 5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Chelsea don't concede, they're through. Fofana, beaten in the air by Schlotterbeck, but he did enough, and Schlotterbeck said it was going wide, and the goalkeeper throws himself at it anyway and makes a comfortable save. And Chelsea just doing everything they can to run time off the clock, and Graham Potter stands on the edge of the technical area and he's applauding. He'll be delighted.
Yeah, he'll be absolutely thrilled if they can see this last period out. Christian Pulisic's the man they got to find now. He's the one with the energy, he's the one with the legs, the ability to carry the ball and just wind that clock down and get Chelsea over the line here. Dortmund now resorted to just getting it wide. As soon as it's wide, it's just delivered into the box. They got tons of yellow shirts ahead of the ball. They're just going to pile it in there.
We're in the 93rd minute, and it's gone wide for Bellingham, and Arifa Balaga's handling was good enough. Just for half a second, I wasn't sure that was the case.
Yeah.
But he dealt with a slightly mishit cross from Bellingham and made sure that he didn't palm it down at the feet of Schlotterbeck.
Exactly right. Jude Bellingham on his left foot, outside the wide areas of the 18-yard box. He's trying to cross it, actually. It almost becomes a cross-come shot, and Kepa just spills it, but manages to grab it at a second attempt.
Well, the big scoreboard here at Stamford Bridge says 2-0. Sterling 43. Havertz penalty 53. And it's a sight for sore eyes for Chelsea supporters, but only providing it stays that way for another 3 minutes. Koulibaly heading the ball forward here. Pulisic couldn't pick it up initially. He does get it back from a tiring Emre Can, and he urges him to run. Gallagher's made a run, but in an offside position. Pulisic will take it down towards the corner flag. Can has won it back maybe a little bit too easily, truth be told. And Dortmund will be able to bring it away from the back now with 2.5 minutes to go. And they've got it wide for Wolf. And there are 4 in a line for Dortmund, including centre-half Schlotterbeck, who's now playing as an auxiliary striker. Yep. Sula's up there as well, and they're urging them just to launch it forward. Bellingham will try and help it on. Didn't quite get the angle right. Neither did Royce. Neither did Fofana. And it's come for Bellingham on the edge of the penalty area until it's calmed down by Koulibaly. He's got it outside the box, but not for long. Bino Giddins with a cross that takes a deflection. Comes for Guerrero. Miss-hit. VAR deflection. Out for a corner.
Well, it's all hands to the pump now. You know, you can't manage these situations. You just got to keep your fingers crossed and get your head on it. It's gone out for a corner. It's frantic, it's chaotic, it's everything you would expect in the dying seconds of such an important game.
90 seconds to go. Chelsea mustn't concede. In it comes from Guerrero. Schlotterbeck can't get there. Emre Can, central position, 30 yards from goal. Side puts it out to the right. Reina with the cross. Wolf with a free header. Wolf gets it back, deflected, and Arifa Balaga saves. And they've got a minute to hang on.
Do you know what? The Chelsea boys froze there. They absolutely were stuck, rooted to the spot. Because the Dortmund players were actually passing to each other in the box, and eventually the shot from Wolf was blocked, and it just rolls into Kepa's hands gratefully.
Kai Havertz has it, and we got a minute to go, and Havertz has still got it, and he's 10 yards outside the Dortmund area, and he's retained it beautifully. Chilwell to Loftus-Cheek. Chilwell blocked off, gets the free kick, 3 yards from the corner of the penalty area. And that's just where Chelsea want the ball at this juncture. Out of harm's way, with a chance to kill the game off.
And their best player on the night, Kai Havertz, again managed to pick the ball up, rode a challenge, kept it, played a little give and go, and eventually the ball goes out wide, where the Dortmund players are just furious at the referee's decision, but it was a foul. It was a free kick to Chelsea, and it's high up the field, and a chance for them now keep it in that corner flag area. Nobody going forward or pushing forward towards it, just keep it up the field.
By the time the free kick is taken, we will have played those 6 additional minutes. So we're just at the behest now of the officials how much time they're going to add on at the end of added time. Chelsea can smell it, they can taste it, they are to all intents and purposes there. Listen to the noise around Stamford Bridge. Super Chelsea FC, sung with a conviction that we haven't heard for many weeks and months. The free kick taken short, unsurprisingly. They try and take it down towards the corner flag. Dortmund bring it away, give it away to Chilwell. Free kick given Dortmund's way. One last chance for them. With 40 seconds past the end of the 6 minutes, it's thrashed forward long, but straight to Reece James. James will bring it forward. James flicking it through. Pulisic gets it into his stride. And Pulisic plays it to the left-hand side of the area for Loftus-Cheek. He will take it down towards the corner flag. Finds Cucurella. Back from him to Pulisic. Chelsea still well inside Dortmund territory.
It's a bad challenge out from Bellingham on Reece James.
And he's going to get a yellow card for it.
It's a poor challenge, really is.
Two men who know each other well. From international duty, Jude Bellingham and Reece James. And the referee just allowed play to go on to see what develops and then stops it, produces the yellow card for Bellingham. But when play does restart, there will only be a matter of seconds left.
Yeah, they're all but over the line here. What a great night. Such an engaging watch. It looks like they're going to get there. They are.
Chelsea's season is back from the dead. They progress and show real signs of progress. What a win this is. It changes everything. If they hadn't been able to pull this off tonight, their season was over. Big question marks over the manager's future. But Stamford Bridge have got their Chelsea back on the strength of this. A Dortmund side with a 100% record in 2023. Played 10, won 10, but they've come to the bridge. They've been beaten. And yes, Chelsea had a little bit of luck along the way with the first goal. A couple of touches and ricochets that broke as they wanted in the penalty area. With the second, with the penalty award, then with the missed penalty that came back off the post and the retake. But as far as the Champions League are concerned, Chelsea are one step beyond where they thought they were going to be. They're in the quarter-finals. And all around us, the fans are bobbing up and down in ecstasy. Madness. It's been a rotten season, but it is madness.
It is.
Chelsea have won 2-0 and 2-1 on aggregate. What a night. What a galvanising night this will be for Graham Potter and for Chelsea going forward. Dortmund knocked out. Chelsea in the quarterfinals.
Well, Todd Bowley, kisses and hugs all around Graham Potter, getting hugged by everybody among the staff. And Andy Townsend, let's just make this clear how big this is. Dortmund have won 10 in a row. 10 in a row. And Chelsea beat them on the night. They get through on aggregate. And listen, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 performance, but they got through. That's all they needed to do. Monumental achievement against the informed side in Europe.
And Aid, I think tonight Graham Potter has seen his team play with heart, play with just courage and determination. Forget all the perfect stuff, all the little pretty shapes you see here, there and everywhere over on the field, and forget all the stuff that Graham Potter is kind of famed for. Tonight he sent a team out there to do a job, to get a job done, to get over the line, to go and get yourselves in a quarter-final, to have more guts, to have more heart than they've shown of late. And they did that. They did that. That is why they've got through tonight. That's a Premier League team doing what Premier League teams do in this competition. They make it hard. They make it difficult. They make it impossible at times for better teams, if you like, to prosper. They did the job, and well done to them Chelsea boys tonight.
Well, listen, the stats show Dortmund had more possession, chances and efforts on target absolutely level, and maybe there was a little bit of luck involved with the penalty and the retake, but Chelsea will take that.
Listen, you've got to have a slice of luck. You've got to have a key moment, a turning point. I didn't think it was a penalty. I didn't think it was. I honestly didn't feel that Marius Wolf deliberately offered an arm in an outrageous position. I don't think so. However, look, nowadays we don't know what they're going to give when we see these incidents. They got that bit of luck, and then they got a huge stroke when Kai Havertz's pen come back off the post, encroachment. All of a sudden it's a retake, and he coolly rolls it in the net. I questioned him at the start of the night, Havertz. I said, I'm still not convinced about him. He convinced me tonight. He was the best player in a blue shirt.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Graham Potter just gone over to the fans, applauding them, and then he couldn't hold back. He launched a massive punch in the air to the Chelsea fans. They're through to the quarterfinals. They've beaten Dortmund, who are just a winning machine right now. I don't think many people saw it coming, but it's happened, and Chelsea make it through. Let's pick out this evening's man of the match with Till by NatWest.
Man of the match on Talksport with Till by NatWest, the card payment provider from NatWest. Till by NatWest. Tomorrow begins today. Fees, T's and C's and eligibility criteria apply.
Well, back at Stamford Bridge, Andy Townsend, you may just have let slip. Who is your man of the match?
Yeah, a lot of good performances tonight from Chelsea, there were, but Kai Havertz, I thought he led the line superbly well. Very unlucky first half. Could have done better with another chance that came his way. However, when it mattered, with a little retake from the spot, he had the guts, he had the cool head to roll that into the corner. He's the best player for Chelsea this evening. He deserves man of the match.
Can I give a mention of Ben Chilwell? He set up the first goal, he won the penalty, no matter how dubious, he won the penalty, and also his game management at the end I thought was magnificent. You could say Chilwell is almost back to his very best.
Yeah, played very well. There were some good performances out there. I thought the likes of Fofana, Koulibaly and Cucurella tonight, they kept battling away. They defended ever so well. Reece James, as ever, is an important component in this Chelsea team. Kovacic always grasps. Enzo Fernandez a little quiet. João Felix started the game well. Look, there's room for improvement, but football's not a perfect science. Sometimes it's about rolling your sleeves up and getting the job done, getting it over the line and showing heart and courage and commitment. And you know what? They did that tonight, Chelsea. It was more about that than anything else. They just wanted it that bit more.
Yeah, Jude Bellingham lost his mind towards the end as well. He was so frustrated. Very quickly, that atmosphere in there, this is what Graham Potter's been waiting for. But that atmosphere at the end of the game, that sounded like something else.
It was great. It was really good. Jim was screaming next to me and he could hardly hear his voice. It was great. And that's what he came here for. Nights like tonight, situations like this. And I'm pleased for him. He's had a lot of stick. And I think a lot of it justified, if I'm being honest. I think there has been genuine cause for concern. The last couple of games, he's got over the line against Leeds, but he's backed it up with this one tonight, which was absolutely massive. And hopefully now, his team can just build on this and start finding a bit of genuine rhythm and momentum and start getting up that league table, which will only do their confidence the power of good when the next Champions League big game rolls in.
Andy Townsend, thank you very much. Our pick for this evening's man of the match with Till, the car payment provider from NatWest, was Kai Havertz.